Hello, hello! Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. Hope you all had a great day. My day was pretty good. It certainly started pretty great. Happy Inauguration Day, everybody. Certainly all of our problems are not solved, but I feel a little bit more optimistic about things now that somebody else is in the White House. So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, I hope y'all's day went well, and hope your week is going well. Yeah, let me think here. Last time we played this, we had just sort of finished a portion of the main quest, which required us to take control of these mysterious spires that are dotting the landscape. And that let us build kind of a second little base area. And now we are going to speak with the head of the Scarlet Chorus, whose name is the Voices of Nerat, to kind of find out why his faction and the disfavored were at each other's throats so much prior to the start of the game. So, let's get going, shall we? We did a bunch of exploring last time, did some little side quests. We visited a brothel, which was delightful. And yeah, we're going to go to a new area today, so I don't know what to expect, but I'm looking forward to it. Also, do let me know how audio is. I'm playing around with some new settings for this chat mic, which is not great quality, but I'm hoping, and we'll see, that both the volume is better today and that there will be fewer breathing noises. We'll see. It's not the best. I'm definitely looking to get a new mic here soon, either this month or next month, depending on various financial things. So, hopefully not too much longer of this thing, but we'll see. And I've been enjoying doing this regardless, and this is better than nothing, so let's get a move on.
Will do.
I think what I would like to do before we actually leave for the new area, I want to talk to our newest party member, Siren. She has a whole thing about she can use the power of her voice to control people and have them worship her and that kind of thing. So I'd like to speak with her and just see what she has to say. Get to know her a little bit.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice to see you.
Siren smiles and blushes at her words.
What do you need?
You have a way with words, Siren. Were you instructed on how to speak with others? Of course. One of the only good things that came out of my time with Kairos was my education. My teachers insisted I be trained on the proper way to speak with the royal court. I was frequently mistaken for someone older, so I think I got away with a lot more than I could have otherwise. For all their failings, they made sure I was properly educated. My favorite class was learning how to talk people into doing what you wanted without using magic. Can you believe that? Why in the world would you risk it? But it was a fascinating subject. Could you teach me some tricks? That would be wonderful. Certainly, Fatebinder. I don't remember how much of my training I'll remember, but I'm sure I could help you out. She leans close, and in the softest of caresses, her lips brush your ear. Words or sounds indiscriminate to the human ear, a language not meant to be understood by any but the archon of song, beyond the breadth of discernment, but inescapably compelling, binding, gut-wrenchingly painful on a single lilt, then euphorically fulfilling a mere intone later. You blink and realize the muzzy, spine-tingling murmuring in your ear has fallen silent. Siren draws back with a satisfied sigh, beaming at you, and the perfect image of a sigil, the invocation of her name, brands itself into the depths of your mind. Okay, so we learned a new spell core, the Sigil of Emotions. Let's take a look at that. Sigil of Emotions. The energies evoked by the Sigil of Emotions both fortify and undermine the mental humors, creating passions in the target ranging from apathy to blinding rage. The blood chanters of the Scarlet Chorus are the self-professed masters of the Sigil of Emotions, having developed the technique through the study of Siren, Archon of Song. So, this sounds awesome, by the way. This sounds like spells for calming enemies and raging enemies, hopefully turning them on to each other, against each other, I guess. Okay, so what do we have here? Focused intent. Enraged affliction for 12 seconds. So there's a control emotions and a lore component to this. Causes an ally to fly into a furious rage. Oh, an ally. Okay. The ally gains the effects of the enraged infliction at the end of which they return to their former state. And just so we're clear, enraged is recovery is reduced by 25%, health increased by 15%, and will reduced by 15%. Recovery is reduced by 25%, so they can act quicker, but their will defense is lower, sounds like. So that's focused intent. Could do a distant impact, which... Okay, so that's an attack spell. Foe target, taunted affliction for 8 seconds. And of course, taunted targets are forced to attack the taunter, so that would be great for a tank, in theory. But also does a little bit of just raw damage. Interesting. And if we make it a cone spell, then it's a wave of despair. They move slower and they're fatigued. Fatigued and dazed, so they just move super slow. That's kind of the sort of spell I was hoping for. So we're not exactly like turning them against each other like I might have hoped, but this is still pretty good. What do we have here? Could add bleeding to this. That would be pretty cool. Looks like only me or Lantry can use that currently, unfortunately. I was hoping maybe I could give that to Ebb here, but... Okay, what other enhancements could we do? We could just make it stronger. Certainly not bad. We could increase the radius. Again, not bad, but I don't know. Accuracy plus 15, I mean, that's just kind of generally better. We can reduce the cooldown. Might do that. That could be more than handy. And then, of course, we've got our bleeding. Okay. Okay. Who do we want to give this to? Because I am tempted to give this to, give this the bleeding effect and see if I can toss it. I mean, it would have to be my character. It would have to be my character. And that would mean... Whoops. That would mean removing one of these. But if I take away the bleeding, then Ebb could use it, which I think I want to do. I think I want Ebb to have this. I think that'll be handy. Okay, and then since we're here, I wonder if we can give Siren some healing just because. Why not, you know? Let me see here. Maybe we'll give her a touch healing spell. So that's 35. She's got 48 here. Only 48. We could make it recover faster and she'd still be able to use it. So let's do that. Let's give that to her. Great. Okay. Now, again, since we're here, I'm thinking of maybe boosting the healing spell that we have currently because we have more lore available. We might be able to replace the one that we've got. So we've got a shorter cooldown, 4 seconds faster. I don't know if we want increased accuracy. I guess I'm thinking no. So let's go ahead and give that to my main character. We'll override the one she's got. Okay. Alright, let's quick save. And I noticed a notification, so let's check our emails, our missives. We received a new missive from one of the other Fate Binders, who we decided to be sort of honest with. They were asking about the spires and how we managed to, you know, cancel out the edict prior. We decided to just be honest with them. So here's their response. This is from Fatebinder Rogalis. Dear Iron Fist, your summation is most fascinating. Thank you for sharing. You are certainly not the first to proclaim an edict. Many of us have been used to complete the casting of the Overlord's magic. And you aren't the first to break an edict, though that list of names is a smaller, more exclusive list. What's curious, though, living and recorded memory make no mention of someone who proclaimed and shattered the same edict. In that regard, you are an anomaly. The bad news is, the Archons know this and will be suspicious of this distinction. Along with this parchment, I have included the contact information of the Honorable Fatebinder Myothis, an old peer of mine and perhaps the most knowledgeable in the court on matters not taught to us by Tunon. Treat her with respect and she will not betray your confidence. Best of luck, Iron Fist. I think things are about to get even stranger for you. So that ended on a very courteous note. We weren't really sure, you know, were we being played? Was somebody playing, you know, jockeying for, you know, power or position through this little email exchange? But it seems like that's not the case. Okay, so this conversation is complete. So what does that mean, though? Ah, now we can introduce ourselves to the Myothis person. Quill in hand, you loom over a blank sheet of apartment. You have Binder Myothis's contact information in hand and contemplate your opening words. Polite introduction, brash introduction, or introduce yourself and send payment. I'm not going to be brash. I have no reason. I know nothing about this person. And I don't know why I would send payment. So we'll just do the polite introduction then. Dear Fatebinder Myothis, I write to you at the urging of my peer and tutor, Fatebinder Rogalis. He has found himself bereft of answers, a rare condition for him, and suggested you may be the only source of the answers I seek. If you will pardon the imposition, it would mean a great deal to learn what you know of Kairos' edicts and the magic of the spires. The mountain spire of the Tears has awoken to my presence, an event that occurred moments after I resolved an edict of Kairos. So it's critical that I learn just what has happened to me and what it all means. I thank you in advance for your consideration and wisdom. It's like writing emails for work, right? Like, just dripping with courtesy and politeness. So, well, go ahead and send that, and in 24 hours, we'll see what we see what happens. Okay, so we were going to chat with Siren. She taught us this magic.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice to see you.
She taught us this magic, but we never actually got to talk with her a whole bunch. So
What do you need?
let's do that. Got some good tea to help with all the talking tonight. It's Meadow brand. It's it's Smith tea brand, but the variety is Meadow. It's like a nice herbal thing. I don't know. It's good though. Okay, I would know more about you. Tell me about your homeland. What is there to say? It's a fuzzy memory, hardly worth recalling. I was born in a northern farming village without a name. That's how out of the way we were. A bunch of families ended up settling near each other, and that was my village. It was about 20 miles from Shadow's Rest, and you probably haven't heard of that either. We were farmers, poor and isolated. Nothing about my home or past is worth dwelling on, Fatebinder. I barely remember my father, my mother is dead, and the only thing people ever wanted from me was my song. The girl is powerful. Bring the songbird, we need a blessing. Our crops are withering, what has that bitch done? Her voice falters with the last statement, and she shivers a little. Okay, we'll go with the lore to check. Nothing in your past is worth dwelling on? It looks to me like you remember something. I suppose when an angry mob that fears you and what you can do stones your mother to death while she shields you with her body, it sticks with you. Girl has seen some shit, right? This is like a 15-year-old girl. Let's remember. Lady Gamega, welcome. We're just getting started tonight. We're learning about the trauma of a songstress wizard, well, girl, which is a cheery way to end the night, I suppose. How are you doing? How was your stream earlier? I didn't get a chance to see it. I'm sorry. What do you remember about your family? The good thing about being taken from home when you're still a child is you can't miss the childhood you never got. It's true. Trauma, good start. Yeah, right? Happy Wednesday. What do you want to know? You were taken from your family? Technically, by the time I was taken, there was no family left to be taken from. But Kairos' forces had gotten word of my talents and decided I was better used taking over the world than helping local farmers. Okay. Played Mario Galaxy 2. I'm sorry I missed it. I loved that game, man. That game was probably better in some ways than Galaxy 1. I just wish it had had the same, like, story or depth of story as Galaxy 1. But man, those levels are so good in Galaxy 2. If I get a Switch, I'm gonna track down a copy of this Mario anniversary thing they put out, and that'll be like the first thing I play, probably. You have no family left? What happened? What do you think? They're dead. My father might not have cared about me, about us, but my mother would never have let anyone take me while she lived. Without anyone to protect me, I was whisked off to Kairos' court. How would you describe your father? We're getting into the real deep shit here. Worthless, hopeless, devoid of human emotion? Sometimes I feel like we are complete opposites. He seemed incapable of feeling anything, and I seemed to be nothing but raw emotion. If this is upsetting for anyone, I understand. This is not what I expected from this conversation. What do you remember about your mother? She's dead, so I don't have much to remember. She loved me, that much I know. But sometimes I wonder if what she felt was love or fear. Fear for me or of me. And sometimes I don't think there was a difference between the two. My mother loved me when no one else did, when no one else could. The world wanted nothing but my voice. All my mother wanted was my happiness. She was the only person in my life that did. Dude, this is like some heavy stuff. Like, I thought she was just like a, snarky teenage wizard girl, and she's sitting on some stuff, right? Tell me about your mother's death. Please, tell me about your mother's death. No, Fatebinder, I can't. Please, don't make me talk about it. Her voice trembles and tears well up in her eyes. We can push. We can really push. We can promise never to ask again. Or let's just talk about something else. I don't want to promise never to ask again, because I'm a little curious. But let's just talk about something else for now. Tell me about your father's death. He disappeared after my mother died and I was kidnapped. I didn't hear anything about him for the longest time, so I assumed he had disappeared and I would never see him again. Then someone brought word that he'd been found. He killed himself, and now he's out of my life. Jesus Christ. So we have the option to... how would I describe this? Like, sarcastically push harder? For someone who always has a lot to say, that was incredibly succinct. Is there more? Or let's just talk about something else. I think I'm just going to talk about something else. Let's get to know her a little more first before we really, push deep. Alright, do you have any siblings? No. I was close to a boy in my village for a time, but his mother stopped letting me play with him when everyone realized what my powers were. That's the closest thing I ever had to a living sibling. A dour expression clouds her face. A living sibling? My brother died very young. I never knew him, so I hardly count him as a sibling. Life in the middle of nowhere is difficult. For a single child to survive, let alone more, is a testament to the parents. She looks at you for a time, her lips a thin line. Her eyes grow red and tears form in her lids. Finally, she nods slowly and breaks her silence. I remember my mother talking about me getting a little brother. It wasn't long after I started singing and my powers started growing. She told me that soon it would be too hard for her to travel with me. Siren, sweetie, she said, you'll have to go with your daddy. It wouldn't be good for the baby if I kept traveling like that. Maybe after your brother is out here with us, we can all travel together. Siren looks out to the horizon, her voice breaking. Go on. Everyone wanted the songbird to sing for them, and they paid us so much money, so we went. But I didn't want to go without my mother. She was the only real comfort I had. When I was with her, I felt safe. Nothing could hurt me. There was a trip coming up, and I knew she wouldn't be going. I couldn't bear the thought of all those days in the care of my father. Her voice breaks again, and she closes her eyes. So I sang to my baby brother. I told him we were all waiting for him. I told him we needed to be a family so we could travel together. I told him he should come out. So Siren's powers are to, control the minds of those she sings to? I think I know what happened here. I don't know if I meant for it to happen, but I sang the words, "No one can resist my voice." My mother's screams cut the song short, and the blood It was everywhere. I was dragged from the room, but I don't remember who took me. This is so fucked up. Yeah, I only remember staring at my foot the rest of the afternoon. The pattern soaked into my shoe, the splatter across the tops of my toes. I couldn't bring myself to clean it off. I just looked at it. Go on. People came and went all day. There was a lot of crying, and nobody looked at me the same way after that. My mother told me that things like this happen all the time, but even at 5, I knew what I had done, and part of me was happy. I wanted my mother back, and I got her. She still loved me. She died protecting me, but I terrified her. Every time I opened my mouth, I could see her flinch, and after my brother died, she was never around when I sang. She couldn't bear to watch me. Let's please talk about something else. Holy crap. So, her father is a neglectful, possibly abusive shithead. Her mother died protecting her from a mob, and she caused the miscarriage of her own brother. She sang her brother to death, is what happened. Her mother was pregnant. She sang a song to her brother, saying, "Oh, come out, come out." She was like 5. So this baby, this fetus, decided to come out, and it didn't go well. It's just vague enough that maybe it wasn't her fault, but I'm thinking it probably was her fault. And then years later, a mob was trying to stone her, Siren, this girl, to death, but her mom jumped in front to protect her and died in the process. Happy Wednesday. Anyway, on a more sunny topic, how long have you been practicing magic? Always. I have no memory of being without the power. It has been my driving force, and I am who I am because of it. Every defining moment of my life is because of my voice and the power behind it. I have become what it made me, and it is what I have done with it. Alright, tell me about your time with the Voices of Nerat. We are going to see the Voices of Nerat here in a little while. I have the tea. I gotta drink it. I don't know what else to do after hearing that just unbelievably depressing story. I was like, this girl's seen some shit. Ha ha ha. Actually, it's like the most fucked up thing I've possibly seen in a video game, so we're doing well. We're doing well tonight. Alright, how did you meet Nerat? I met it when I was unceremoniously dumped on its doorstep by Kairos. All I felt toward it since the moment I saw it was sheer hatred. So, Nerat, or the Voices of Nerat, is a person of ambiguous gender who seems to absorb the personalities of his fallen foes into itself. So, he has a plural name, but it is a singular being with multiple minds. It's weird. I really like this game. The magic and lore and background stuff is really interesting and unique to me. I mean, I'm not like a fantasy expert by any means, but it's really unique and interesting. I would recommend it. And this is just me, but there's way more reading than fighting so far, and I'm fine with that. So I'm enjoying it. When one person tires of me, they just hand me off to another. I seem to be quite the handful. No one is truly prepared to deal with me, I suppose. So abandonment issues on top of everything else. I was its possession for 3 years, stuck doing what it wanted until you came along and started messing around with Kairos' plans. Why did Kairos give you to Nerat? I made the mistake of trying my song on Kairos, and forgiveness isn't exactly in the Overlord's vocabulary. Interestingly enough, I think it almost worked. Can you imagine how differently things would have turned out if I'd had a little more practice? So Kairos is the evil overlord that rules this entire continent. It's like Sauron. So she apparently tried to use her magic on Sauron and was not murdered for it, which is interesting. I was brought out at one of the many lavish gatherings thrown at the palace. Kairos loved showing me off, impressing the gathered elite. So I performed. I sang, I danced, I convinced people to join in. Then, in the middle of it all, I had a brilliant idea to work one more performance into the show, something that would be the ultimate end to the evening. I added a counterpoint to my song and directed it at Kairos. In it, I mentioned that it might be in everyone's best interest if Kairos ended up impaled on a sword. I honestly didn't think it would work, but why not try, right? Why not? Why not? What could go wrong? It went as far as Kairos unsheathing one of the royal guard's swords, but then everything stopped. I don't know why. It was probably me. I got too excited and lost my control. But whatever the reason, Kairos was suddenly out of my control and let out a terrible shout. Weren't you afraid of getting caught? Yeah, good question. Of course I was. But I've seen how the world works, especially Kairos' world. People don't live long, and when they're disposed of, it's violent and sudden. I figured I was dead anyway, so why not try to rid the world of a horrible threat? Really? You were trying to save the world? Fine, I was trying to save my own skin. Happy? I was 12, so forgive me if self-preservation was in the front of my mind. Oh, look, a young lady who thinks of nothing but herself. Do you want to hear the story or not? Fair. Fair. Everyone stared, frozen by the yell echoing back at us. Kairos quickly recovered and gave the appearance of cheering us on, but I was convinced I was about to die. Interestingly, my execution never came. I finally realized I couldn't have been punished at the party because Kairos would have to admit I had exerted my will onto the Overlord, and without a good reason to call for my death, I couldn't have been executed afterward. I was a songbird. I did nothing but spread Kairos' will and gather the armies. Would you execute your best and most loved recruiting tool? So Kairos worked with Nerat and it gave me this helmet to bring me back in line. Interesting. I didn't realize this headpiece was like a control rod or something. Then I was handed over to Nerat, that monster, because it is the one thing in the world I cannot control. Present company excluded, Fatebinder. So why can't you control the voices of Nerat? I've been inside its mind time after time, and I've never been able to get a handle on what's going on in there. Every time I talk to it, I feel like a different person is talking to me, and every one of them wants something different. Yes, this is tons and tons of text. My stream is like the audiobook version of this game, basically. So, yeah. And one in particular wants something it's never ever going to get. Okay, what does Nerat want from you that he's never going to get? Come on, Fatebinder, you can't be that naive. I'm still a child and I know what adult urgings, as one of my old teachers so clumsily put it. Somewhere inside that chaotic mind, I saw the most depraved and disturbing desires I've had the misfortune of feeling. No matter what Nerat says to you, do not trust it. That will always end badly. We've been siding with Nerat. We're working for the bad guys. I feel really icky now. What has Nerat had you do for him? Now, if that isn't the question that goes right to the heart of the storm, I think you should ask me what it hasn't had me do, or at least tried to make me do. Okay. Tell me more about that headdress. It's the bane of my existence and something that's incredibly painful to talk about, so why not? She shrugs. What does it do? Makes me impotent? Do you have any idea what it's like to have a hurricane raging inside you? To feel the gale crashing against you to be released, but only feel a gentle summer's breeze? Yes, so there is fighting. It's kind of like Dragon Age, the first one, or Baldur's Gate. It's that kind of top-down, real-time fighting. You press space to pause, and you can like queue up orders and stuff. But it's kind of like those games, and it's a pretty deep combat system, actually. But it is, so far at least, it's been more reading and talking than fighting. But the first act ended with a big battle, so there's definitely fighting. Kairos and Nerat made it just for me. If I attempt anything more powerful than a simple tune, it will kill me. Isn't that simply wonderful? Honestly, to be so terrified of a mere child. Excellent, I'm glad you're enjoying it. So why do you have this headdress? I might have tried to kill Kairos once. He and Nerat decided I posed too much of a threat, so they muzzled me. So yeah, we knew that already. I was their attack dog and they pulled out my teeth. You can hardly be surprised that the dog tries to bite you if that's all you teach him to do. Why can't you simply take it off? Gee, Fatebinder, I never thought of that. Here, could you unclasp it for me so I can get out of it? Because I'll die if it isn't removed the proper way, you simpleton. Do you think I'd leave it on otherwise? It was kind of a dumb question. Okay. If you can't take it off, then why did you get me to try to remove it when we met? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She sang at us and we were compelled for a moment to unclasp the helmet. How can someone so powerful be so stupid? I knew you wouldn't be able to remove it. That's not what I was trying to do. You're a Fatebinder. You honestly think I was going to pass up the opportunity to try and control a Fatebinder? How do you know you'll die if you remove the helmet? Because I doubt Nerat and Kairos would go through all the trouble just to play a trick on me. Something this subtle, elaborate, and long-lasting isn't really their style. At least not Nerat's. Plus, Nerat told me the helmet would kill me if I removed it, and while it might be a lying monster, it loves telling the truth if the truth causes an extra bit of pain. Maybe he's just toying with you. I'm not going to risk my continued existence on a maybe. Plus, I already tried when they first put it on me. I got one of the worst headaches I've ever had, so I'll leave it where it is for now. Huh. What would it take to remove it? Someone beating the information out of Nerat or Kairos. They are the only ones who know how it was constructed and how it works. I may ask people to remove it, but I know they won't be able to. That's not going to stop me from trying, though. So why the headdress? Why not use magic to gag you? They tried magic. It didn't really work. The problem is, spells can be broken. Counter spells can be found, guards can be bribed, people can have accidents. Nerat and Kairos are the only ones who know how to remove this without killing me. The answer is locked somewhere in Nerat's insane and Kairos' currently not conveniently located heads. So we have two party members who are trapped, literally trapped in their attire. We have Siren here, who has a headdress that is limiting her magic, and we have Barrick, who is not currently in the party, who is literally encased in scraps of metal. Like, it's a suit of armor that he can never take off. It's like magically attached to his body, so that's interesting. I don't know if there's something symbolic about some of that. I don't know. I'm not feeling too eloquent at the moment, but yeah.
What do you need?
Do you know anything about what's going on in the tiers? Oh, whoops, wrong one.
What do you need?
Okay, how long have you been here? Since the beginning of the occupation. Kairos wanted me out of sight, but still in use, so I was given to Nerat. It used me to gather fodder for the chorus. What do you think about Tunon? Tunon is our boss, our sort of lawyer, adjudicator, supervisor. He makes me uncomfortable. There's nothing behind that mask. It's dark and empty. What do you mean? Everyone has a presence. It's how my magic works. I reach into them and convince their presence to do what I want. He has no presence. When I reached into him, there was nothing. It was bleak. I never want to feel that again. If you have to reach into someone's mind to control them, how did you influence entire armies to do what you want? I can't influence an army, but I can persuade them to feel the way I want them to. If I want to get someone to do a specific thing for me, I have to get inside their head, and that requires a lot more effort. No one can keep me out, but if they're aware of what I'm doing, I can't force them to do anything. At least, not with this thing on my head. She knocks a hand against her helmet. Really, I don't know how it works, it just does. You might as well ask me where lightning comes from. Okay, tell me about Kairos. How did you come to work for Kairos? After my father betrayed me and got my mother killed, I was taken by Kairos' men. I honestly don't know where he went, other than it seemed to take forever to get there. Then I was put in school. It was a wonderful and horrible time. I learned how to control and maximize my power, but they underestimated my abilities, or overestimated theirs. I think it was more the latter than the former. They unleashed my true power. Did they believe I wouldn't try to run with it? They tried to train and mold me, and in that they succeeded. They also tried to brainwash and break me, and in that they failed spectacularly. But I was punished for it. Why were you punished? They assumed my abilities were exaggerated. They were powerful mages who had spent years training at their art. How could a little girl ever hope to rival their prowess? I grew tired of their condescension. I hated them for treating me like a child. Their rules, their discipline, their training. They had killed my mother, and I would make them pay for it. One day I got bored in class. The teacher's droning voice was putting me to sleep in the afternoon heat, so I thought I'd have a little fun. He was distracted, and he let his defenses down. He didn't consider me a threat. Go on? I started humming. Nothing that would attract his attention, of course. A lullaby my mother sang to me. Fitting, I thought, to invade this man's mind with a song taught to me by the woman they destroyed. I could tell I had gotten inside him when he slowed down, ever so slightly. I started singing wordlessly, standing, working in hand motions. They were completely unnecessary, but I had been trained to be a performer. Then I worked in my words. The window, I sang to him. Look, what's at the window? He turned, entranced, and stared outside, his mouth moving silently as he dreamed an answer to my question. What's out there? I asked him through my song. What could that be? I was elated. The fool had left himself alone and vulnerable, and this 8-year-old had dominated his mind. He walked to the window, intently staring at something I couldn't see. Go on. Of course, I didn't mean for him to fall. He was looking out the window and reached up, as if to touch whatever he was looking at, and before I could stop him, he was gone. It looked like he was trying to catch something as he fell from sight. I won't say I'm sorry he died. He was a horrible man, but I didn't mean to do it. However, I was elated. The taste of power was intoxicating. I didn't get to taste it again for a long time. It's bleak. How were you punished? I'm sure this is going to be so uplifting to hear. They wanted to cut out my tongue. Even at 8, I didn't blame them. It's what I would have done. But Kairos said no, doing possibly the one kind of act she ever did for me. Without the power of speech, I was essentially useless. So they muzzled me. They knew simply holding my mouth shut wasn't going to be sufficient, so they got creative. Using sage magic, they put my voice in stasis when I wasn't in class. I could go through the motions of speech, but nothing came out. Oh, did they take pleasure in it. Between classes, they gave me chores. They berated me. They beat me. I was their slave. The only reason I lived was by Kairos' whim, but I was tortured by everyone else's. There were at least 2 teachers in my classes after the incident, and I was always accompanied by 2 guards, both of whom had been deafened, so I couldn't affect them. I accidentally killed one man, and they were acting like I had destroyed a realm. Right? I know. I need like a trigger warning at the start of this stream. Like I kept going back and forth as to whether I should have this stream is not intended for children. This one is not intended for children. Holy shit. I suppose that's what they thought I'd do next, and who knows, maybe that's what I'm about to do. Let's keep digging. What was life like with Kairos? For several years, I was surrounded by people who would smile to my face and sneer when I turned away. They were supposed to be my mentors, my teachers, but all they did was resent me. They taught me to refine and control my voice. My power became more directed, more powerful, more subtle. I no longer needed to specifically say what I wanted people to do. I could just think what I wanted, how I felt, and the weaker the mind, the faster they would respond. It still required me to sing, or at the very least make music with my voice, but I could say one thing, but mean something else entirely, and the magic worked. Everything was done for Kairos' edification. They asked for signs of her power, and I was used to bring them about. People praised my name, to the extent that was allowed, but if the focus of adoration ever truly pointed toward me, it was quickly stifled. I didn't see much of Kairos. She was busy taking care of her affairs, but I was never allowed to forget by whose power I was allowed to exist. I was paraded around like the new jewel, and since I had real power, it took a while for the luster to fade. But when I tarnished, I corroded through, and when I stopped being a pleasant distraction, I was passed off to Nerat, to be forgotten. Okay, we're gonna short circuit out of this a little bit. Yeah, let's go to a new map area, and we'll continue this uplifting conversation later, I think. Because holy shit.
I got it.
Yeah, remember how today was Self-Care Wednesday? It's gonna be Self-Care Thursday tomorrow, I think. Okay, let's go to Mountain Spire first. Let's go to our cool base. It was acting like there's something new to do here, but I'm not entirely sure what that is. Let's talk to Lysandra here, see if she's got anything new. Right, she's our skill trainer. Okay, we don't need to do any of that, I don't think. Let's talk to Rivos here. He folds his arm. Oh, have you made anything for me lately? He made me campfire supplies, which I don't need. Alright, well that was useless. Yeah, I really like the music in this this camp area. This is probably some of the more memorable music I've heard in this game. It's not, the music isn't bad, it's just doesn't, it's not obtrusive, I guess, but this is nice here. Whoops. Okay. Don't see anything new here. Let's go down to the base of the tower. And I'm still not seeing anything. Okay, that's fine. We will go to our actual destination, which is Cacaphony. The howling masses of Nerat's horde reside here, amongst the dry rocky plateaus clustered in the Stone Sea's outer rim. Though not resembling a traditional fortress, the Archon's chosen base of operations is exceedingly difficult to assault. Alright, this will take a day and a half to get there. Oh wow, there's like purple crystals everywhere. That's cool, I haven't seen anything like that to this point. Okay, so this is a whole new area, so we're gonna do a lot of poking around. Let's see, these are lit up. Why are they lit up? Why are you lit up? I don't know. Okay. We'll check out our emails later. So, these people are very dead. Welcome to Cacaphony, Fatebinder. Nerat said to be expecting you. Where can I find the voices of Nerat? Northeast corner of the camp, near the only real buildings left. If he's not on his throne, he's wandering not too far from it. What can you tell me about Cacaphony? It's the main stronghold of the Scarlet Chorus and the Tears. All chorus groups have some of their people here. Horde, Scarlet Furies, Blood Chanters, Bloodhound, even the Beastmen. Everybody's got their own section of camp. Better that way, it keeps the brawling to a minimum. We got a merchant here if you need to buy anything. There's also the quartermaster, but Nerat's got to give him the say-so before you're allowed to get your hands on chorus goods. I guess that's fair. Wow, this place is really rumbling. Got some stuff to loot. This is a blood-soaked mantle, which causes the frenzy minus... Oh, while you're wounded, you perform your actions more quickly. Interesting. Don't think I want to use that, so we'll just dump it in the stash for now. There are just impaled corpses everywhere, just as idle decoration. It's lovely. Alright, let's go west first. Alright, let's talk to Splinter here. Overlord's blessings to you, Fatebinder. Regards, and so on and so forth. Might there be something I can help you with for the right price? What kind of price? The usual. I help you, you help me. Nothing too steep. Such as? Say I were to give you information, and your acting on that information then benefited me in some such way or another. Would be a shallow price for a nice payout, if you get what I mean. Okay. What were you up to during the war? I don't know what this has to do with this favor, but okay. Trying to stay alive, mostly. Okay, fair. Heard any rumors lately? Any news of interest going around Cacaphony? Nothing new, only the usual happenstances. So-and-so killing so-and-so in their sleep and absorbing their gang. Leaders from throughout the tiers entering you-know-whose tent and never stepping out again. The Voices doesn't even leave a body. How do you think he does that? No, on second thought, I surely don't want to know. He licks his tongue over his teeth, scratches his cheek. And you did not hear so much as a whisper from me. But I heard some of his victims end up on spikes, no? Sometimes something shows up on the spikes nearest the Voices tent, sure. But whatever it is, you can't exactly call it a body anymore. Get me? Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say husk, because that would be overly dramatic, but they certainly don't look quite right. Gross. I'm looking to shed a little blood, make a few rings. Where can you point me? I might have heard wind regarding a squad of disfavored that are giving the Bronze Brotherhood a go of it near Lethian's Crossing. Could be some rings in it for you. There's certainly some fingers to be had. You want me to bring back some disfavored fingers? I want every finger from every hand, preferably taken before you kill the poor muckers, eh? Do it and I'll pay you 10 rings each. Don't ask me where I'm getting the rings and I'll make it 15. Great. Let's go get some fingers. Is there a story behind your name, Splinter? Well, I woke up with a sharp pain shooting up my backside one night, and... Are you sure you want to hear this? I definitely want to hear this. Please continue. I guess it was a piece of a chair, at least as long as my forearm. My mate, Abscess, had whittled it up for weeks to stab it in my spine. Only it didn't kill me, though, it just gave me this damn limp. He rubs a spot on his lower back toward the right side, wincing either from the pressure or the memory. I wouldn't say it was a shoddy weapon. It ended her good and dead when I stuck it in her throat. The Scarlet Chorus are a violent bunch, FYI. They're not very charming. Alright, let's take this
My larcenous deed for
stuff.
the day is now complete.
And it looks like we have an argument to adjudicate. So let's save and chat up these fine folks. Just what we need, a fate binder of the courts. Look, I understand my rank, but I can't just bite my tongue when my boss man Dirge thinks to get away with a crime of such proportions, without bribing me first. He grins maniacally, staring daggers at his gang boss, even as he speaks to you. Frig you, Rathrot. Dirge shakes his head, murder written in his spear. As if you'd settle for a rent rump and a fistful of strings. Admit it, the price you want's my head so you can stand atop our little crew. What crime is being charged? A capital one, Fatebinder. I saw it with my own eyes. 3 nights back, Boss Man snuck into and out of the old walls running Wisdom Rise. You shitface, Dirge barks at his subordinate. Think you can steal the throne when you're breathing around my blade in your chest? Or maybe it's your crafty forked tongue I should carve out first. He crosses his arms over his chest, simmering with indignation. But as he scowls, a hint of worry flickers across his furrowed brow. He licks his lips before entreating you to dismiss the complaint against him. Like I'd be dumb enough to risk my entrails scurrying about some fussy ruins. Think I don't know why they're forbidden? Scouring the old walls is just asking to incite Kairos' wrath, and I've got no death wish either from the Bane within, nor Kairos above, nor a fate binder of Tunon before me. Let's say nothing, and wait for them to continue. Dirge shifts his weight, waiting for you to speak for an uncomfortable stretch of silence until he self-consciously scratches a patch of dry skin from his scalp. She thinks you did it, Rathrot taunts in mock whisper, causing his gang boss to snap rigid with anger. So, people aren't supposed to go into the ruins. That's forbidden because there's forbidden knowledge and magic and creatures in there, so sounds like this guy Dirge did go in. Yeah, it's true I've got no proof to say I've done nothing wrong, but you've also got no proof to say I have. Because nothing's happened aside from your ill-thought lies, he shouts back at the Horde member. So you're saying you didn't chase that sage right into the old walls? That's what you're saying, boss? That you followed her but didn't go in? Rathrot splits a vile grin, lips oozing wider with each accusation. He wrungs a tongue over his teeth, barely containing his violence and resentment. For a moment, you can see the whites of his eyes as he blinks away the shock, but it's quickly replaced with fury. You damn well know I didn't go in. He cocks his head to you, face flushed red as he explains. The thing is, me and Wrath had been chasing a sage clear from Lethians. I guess she figured she wasn't going to slip us, so she made a beeline for this breach in the old walls. I know the law, so I wasn't about to follow her in. He wets his lips before continuing. But I'd also be loath to let an enemy of the Overlord slither free, so I cornered her before she can make it past the breach. This outsholes here's the one who slit her damn throat as I held her down. Now he's saying he watched me waltz right into the old walls. Without him? Oh, come on, Fatebinder, are you going to believe that? I called you over here. I'm telling you what happened. Don't let him weasel out of a proper sentence. Only those under direct orders from the Overlord may enter the old walls. Great, if you think I did it, what's to happen to me then? He scowls, face streaked with disbelief. Death's the proper sentence. I'm no Fatebinder, but even I know the way of it. He sneers, eyes gleaming eagerly. Isn't that right, Fatebinder? It's a capital offense. Okay, I was hoping to get more information before. It sounds like I have to make my choice now. So we have to decide, did Dirge sneak into the old walls, which is forbidden, or is Rathrot here lying? Um, we can lie and say there's a 500 ring, fine. Um, shit, I feel like I should have picked a different option earlier on. Let's see. Dirge is nervous. He's acting like he's guilty, but Rathrot is like gleefully hoping for Dirge to be killed because then he becomes the leader of the gang. He becomes gang boss. Let's I don't know. Let's give Dirge 50 lashes. He shouldn't have gone in. He probably went in, but he was trying to corner an enemy, so maybe it's okay. Stay away from the old walls in the future. I'll take 50 lashes and then 50 more if that's what the chorus needs. I doubt Rathrot here would do the same. What? That's it? He throws his hands up, utterly exasperated. Friggin' courts of Tunon, eh? When have they ever helped a fella out? Guess he won't be leading this gang anytime soon, Rathrot. See you when I get back. He spits at Rathrot's feet, then nods to you as guards approach to take him away. Considering he was doing his duty pursuing an enemy, killing him seems a waste, especially since he seems dumb, brave, and generally usable. Ebb eyes Dirge head to toe. Given the look of him, I think he might rather like the lashes, or at least that's how I'm imagining it. No kink shaming here. Alright. Looks like we got another trio over here, so let's save and see what they have to say. Fatebinder, hear me out for a moment, will you? We've got a problem we can't settle, Fatebinder. When we plotted against vile arson, we agreed we'd split the spoils 4 ways. But now that the rings, rugs, and booze bottles are laid bare before us, seems some folks seem entitled to more than their fair share. You want me to adjudicate a settlement between thieves? Thieves? We didn't filch nothing. We killed vile arson and took his property by right of the Circle of Fifths. I don't know what that means. She nods. Lil Gnashing Nils is right. As our weakest, she's earned a right to those spoils, most of all for the abuse vile arson heaped on her over the years. Okay, I'll hear your plea if everyone is in agreement of my involvement. The choir woman nods. I certainly am. I'd like to settle this and put it behind us. What of the rest of you? I am also interested in this Fatebinder's ruling. Let an outsider weigh in. Surely then you'd see the greater weight of my contributions. One of the more timid Horde members ducks her head, scratching through the back of her hair. Are you sure? I've heard bad things about inviting the court's judgment. Once a Fatebinder gets involved, their ruling is absolute, isn't it? She glances to Requiem and Chaos, reading their clues before she relents. Okay, I guess I'll go along with it. The last one shrugs. Doesn't matter to me. I already decided to give up my share. I just wanted the bastard dead. Okay. Then let us proceed. Calamity Jinn cracks her neck and squares her back, eager to relay her part and be done with it. We all got tired of being cut on and watching him torture Nils, so when Requiem suggested the plan, I was eager to lure him into our trap. She glances around and speaks a little softer as she continues. Had to use my finest hooch. I brewed it in a bronze boot I found on the battlefield. But after a couple hours, I had him nice and relaxed, stripped him of his armor, and distracted him after that. That's when I snuck out from under the straw bedding. She runs a hand over the bloody markings on her skin, long dried but worn out of pride. Arson never did anything, eat, sleep, or shit without a weapon, but we'd hobbled him enough that I was able to hack him to ribbons. Eventually he started crawling for the flap of the tent. This is Chaos speaking, where Requiem had stationed me. He crosses his arms over his chest, standing broad and tall. I slit Arson's throat to end it, dismembered his body, and spent the night scattering his bits between the fighting pit, 2 latrines, and a salivating beastman. It was bloody and long work, but it was damn worth it. Nothing like a little murder to end the day on. The last gang member flushes and shyly turns her face away under your scrutinizing gaze. I just stood watch a few tents down. I'm sure someone heard the screams, but no one came running, so it worked out fine. Okay, you each seem equally satisfied with the outcome, so why are you fighting? Requiem rubs her chin as if wondering herself. Finally, she offers a carefree grin. Guess it's just in our nature. If we don't take what we can when we can get it, then how will we ever get ahead? Okay. Who will lead you in Vile Arson's absence? Without a moment's hesitation, the quiet girl speaks up, sounding more sure than she has the entire exchange. Requiem. She saved us. Requiem. He nods brusquely. I'd follow these girls into the screaming jaws of death if they asked me to. I don't care which one's leading us when we get there. Okay, I guess I've made my decision. Come on, Fatebinder, the weight's killing me. What's your call? She cracks her back, restless. Wow, there are 6 choices. Okay. Number 1. The majority of the shares will go to Gnashing Nils in recompense for the crimes she suffered at the hands of Vile Arson, which reportedly motivated his death. The rest will be split evenly amongst you. Number 2. The goods are to be split evenly, 4 ways, as this is the most fair and expedient resolution to your dispute. Number 3, none of you are entitled to the wealth. You'll destroy the cash as it's caused a squabble between you. Number 4, half of the shares will go to Requiem for her proactive organization of the mutiny. The other half will be allocated to cover my legal fees. That one is hilarious. Number 5, for luring Arson into the trap, half of the shares will go to Calamity Jinn. The rest of you will split evenly between you. And 6, the cash goes to Chaos for carrying the burden of risked punishment. He handled and destroyed the evidence, putting himself most at risk for being caught. Oh boy. This faction is all about, the strong survive, the weak get winnowed out. It's completely expected and encouraged for people to kill their bosses so that they can take control. They don't really care about fairness, they just care about who is strongest at any given moment. So, and I've kind of been siding with them in my playthrough, generally speaking. So I don't think I want to say just split evenly, because that's not really their way, right? Like if I was playing a Goody Two-Shoes character, I would say that, and then I'd probably earn wrath with this faction, but we're not going to do that. If we gave the majority of the spoils to Gnashing Nils, who is apparently kind of a shy, quiet, put-upon girl, it feels like a form of justice, but it certainly wouldn't fit with this faction's kind of whole thing with the strong, leading or whatever. I don't want to say none of you are entitled. It's just kind of a dick move. I really like the one that half goes to the woman Requiem and half goes to me. Like, that's fantastically just devious, I feel like. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because I could use the money, let's be honest. We should have just split it evenly between us. Now an outsider's profiting off our pain. She sneers, but quickly shrugs it off. Can you believe it? So they did not like it. Even though Requiem got most of the money, she didn't like it. So I think I made a mistake there, but that's okay. Chaos laughs in agreement and touches a bruised knuckle to his lip in brief wonder. Well, piss. As usual, we should have listened to Nils. The helmed girl curses and shakes her head. The others watch, awaiting her final word. She obliges with a stern shout. Let this waste be a lesson to us. We didn't kill Arson for his damn rings. At this point, it's best to split the remaining among us. I'll divvy out my share. Satisfied with her assessment, the others nod and disagree. The others nod and disperse. Calamity Jinn tosses an arm over Gnashing Nils' stooped shoulders, and Chaos follows a close distance behind. Their murmurs and jeering laughter fade softly into the distance as Requiem offers you a final thanks for nothing, Fatebinder. So that could have gone better. Only half? I mean, think of our costs. We have that spire to renovate. I'm sure Tunon will want his cut. Maybe we should charge per person and not per ruling? Okay. How much money did we get out of that? I think we got like 2 or 3 bronze rings worth. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but... Alright, let's continue exploring. Got some loot. Just some general junk, it looks like. There are beast people here. Let's see what the beast people have to say. Okay, they don't really have anything to say at the moment. The cluttered and unorganized tents go on for as far as you can see. Okay. Let's walk into this central area, see what there is. This rumbling is very disconcerting. Looks like we have another conversation we can have, and we also found a tent we can rest at, which is interesting. Oh, interesting. Alright, so this place is under the Edict of Stone. Minus 15... Sorry, what is this? Okay. Tremors and earthquakes plague the region. Periodic rumbles and shifting cause characters to fall prone in combat. All characters have stone magic skill increased, and the party gains an increase to prone defense while foes have prone durations increased. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so if we get into a fight, there's going to be some statistical effects. Because this place is geologically unstable, it looks like. Alright, let's see what Alliance and Sickle Notch have to say. Sickle Notch. We need the bodies, you mewling pissers. Face red, veins popping in her neck, the Scarlet Fury screams at the horde clustered before her. She waves her arms wildly as she shouts, almost dance-like in her agility, a blade clutched in each hand. Unlike you cockered pignuts, these conscripts can survive a battle. Cockered pignuts is a delightful insult. I'm gonna have to remember that one. One of the horde members spits a blackish mix of herbs and phlegm at the Scarlet Fury's chest. Ugh. So they say to save their necks, but what good's the word of oath-breakers and cowards? Furious and nearly faster than the naked eye can follow, she slashes a return strike. A splotch of red blooms across the offending spitter's chest, a match to her fresh sputum stain. The crowd tenses like a coiled spring, ready to hurl themselves into a bloody fracas. What's going on here? Fatebinder. Yes, Fatebinder. Good of you to come along. The horde representative sneers and straightens himself taller, feeling self-important in the moment. You just saved this Fury's neck. Hardly. She licks the edge of one blade and then uses it to smooth her newly mussed hair back. Though the fate binder may yet stay me from smearing the ground with your blood. A damned slew of Oathbreakers came crawling to us less than a fortnight ago, so we trussed the lot up like beastmen for roast. Why should we welcome liars and defectors to guard our backs? The Horde member spits again, but aims to the side this time, careful to avoid hitting the Scarlet Fury. Come now, Fatebinder, you're a clever sort. Tell us your thoughts. We ought to throw them in the pit. Let the lone survivor join us. It's the way of the chorus. Right, boss? The pit serves for merriment and to weed out fin-sucked weaklings like you, the Fury snaps at the Horde member. Turning to you, she adds, in this case, it would be but a waste of resources. These are part of the splendor that held off the disfavored at Vendrian's Well for many months. We should integrate them into my unit of Furies. Okay, I'm not quite understanding this dispute yet, but okay, are you sure you want me to weigh in? The Scarlet Fury cocks a nod of agreement. I'll be sated just to have the squabbling done with, but we can't win a war with only fish-necked slatterns in a sea of blood. We need skilled fighters to wield our blades. We might be made of tearsmen, but we're loyal to Kairos. The chorus ain't an open cattle call to any turncoat who's got a sharpened weapon and a decent pair of boots. He licks a sooty thumb and thought, toss them in the pit, boss, and I'll donate a share of the proceeds to you. So this faction, their whole thing is that when they win a battle, and they always win a battle, they take the prisoners and give them a choice. Either join us, or we're going to kill you. So that's the first thing. Of the people who decide to join, they then winnow them further by like throwing them into a pit together and having them fight each other. And the ones who survive get to join. The ones who survive and join after that phase, depending on the circumstances of how this all happened, they will then be sent to go like murder their friends and family. You know, sever all ties, that kind of thing. So this shit is bleak. If I'm understanding right, one of these people wants to just conscript these prisoners, just outright, and the other wants to toss them into the pit and have them fight, and the survivor will join. These prisoners are people who have previously broken oaths to serve the Overlord in the first place. So they're not very trustworthy to begin with. Some would say they should be killed anyway. So we could say the captives will go to the Scarlet Furies to aid with strategic military operations within the chorus. Or the captives will fight in the pits to ensure a survivor is traditionally initiated into the chorus, or execute all the captives to dispel the discord they have raised within the chorus. I don't know. I feel like the traditional method might be best. Throw them in a pit, and the strongest will survive. Let's go with that. The party has gained 1,000 rings. Holy crap. The brutish man grins wide, and you can see he's missing several teeth on the left side of his mouth. Thought you might see it our way, boss. Tradition's a fine thing, after all. Keeps society moving. Every chorus member allowed to live, even if it's only one, is one more body that spreads filth through the land. This is unacceptable. Okay, I did not know that Siren felt this way about this faction. This is interesting. Okay, so that was a good amount of money. Alright, let's keep poking around. Have a named... Oh, here's a hidden item for us to loot. Potion of protection and healing potion. It's handy. Alright, let's see what this Sanguinari has to say. Nothing...
Sorry, I can't.
Nothing important, apparently. Let's loot this barrel. Yep, nothing good there. Alright, so let's head to the next little area here. Oh, interesting. Okay, we've got some, oh man, look at these prisoners just hanging. Oh. Enemies of the Scarlet Chorus who have not yet earned a spike are left to hang from the cliff. Left to hang from the cliff wall until death comes for them. So is the spike the merciful punishment? Ooh. Oh, interesting. There's
Sorry, I can't.
there's a named character over here. Huh. Fatebinder, help me. Help, Fatebinder, help. Over here. You can't let them torture me. Please, do something. Convict me if you can't set me free. I'll deal with you later. I want to poke around first before whatever that is. Okay. Got a cool potion. Have a person named Seven Toes, which I think we can infer what that means.
Interesting.
Huh. Got a good staff here. Is that better than what our characters currently have? Well, I mean, kind of. Well, we'll take it for Ebb for now, but I'll check later if it's actually, like, something I want to equip. Bodies of disfavored commanders are proudly displayed behind the voices of Nerat's throne. Alright, let's talk to Seven Toes over here. Okay, he doesn't want to talk yet. Alright, let's talk with the voices of Nerat, who has been highly entertaining so far, so I'm looking forward to this. The voices of Nerat regards you with an unreadable expression. Fatebinder, what a pleasant surprise! We were observing this mound of insects and comparing it to the siege of Mendrian's Well. This particularly fat beetle under our thumb represents Graven Ash. Doesn't he squirm beautifully? As if proclaiming and resolving the same edict weren't impressive enough, you found the temerity to reject Graven Ash and support our right to conquer these lands. You deserve a just reward when this is over, but it's too early to congratulate ourselves while there's plenty of war still to fight. Ah, our songbird! How are you, dear? It's been so long since you visited Cacaphony. We had worried that you had forgot Uncle Nerat. He opens his arms to embrace Siren. While I might not be able to get inside that head of yours, Uncle, I am more than capable of turning this camp against you. It might cost me my life, but if it kept you from touching me, it would be worth it. Step back or our reunion will be blood-soaked. Siren is not happy to be here. I mean, Siren is not happy. Just to be clear. We look forward to catching up in time. You won't always follow at the Fatebinder's heels, will you, dearest? He turns to you. What do you need to know? We're dizzy with answers. So what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. Of course you have questions. We'd be disappointed if you didn't have any. Our first priority is to humiliate that piss bucket Graven Ash. But we'll have a better chance of it once every corner of the tiers is wearing red. Do you see our design, Fatebinder? Does our madness complement our method? You will invite every man, woman, or child who draws breath and occupies this fingernail of a peninsula to join the Scarlet Chorus. A conquest by invitation? How very polite. Oh, don't encourage him. He's already got his own small council of sycophants in his head. Isn't it? Graven Ash would slash and burn this whole continent. We must counter his wanton evil with acceptance and tolerance for these poor tearsmen. Conquest is a delicate matter. It needs feeding, watering, soft caresses, a lullaby before bed. We will invite the leaders of the resistance to join us. If we have their leaders, the people will follow. You will bring them to us, yes? Chiefs and the assets of chiefdom? As for how you factor into these plans, that is in part up to you. We have many ingots in the fire. It's more of a question of what piques your interests. A document of great power, the Silent Archive, rests in the burning library. The archive is said to hold many secrets, any of which we can twist to our advantage. One of our gang bosses, the Censor, seeks the entrance to this queenly treasure. Aid her in the search, and dispatch her back to us with any findings. Tunon's arcane smiths set up shop in Lethian's Crossing. With simple ore dredged from the heart of Tyranny, they can assemble wondrous crafts of iron. Our intellect swells, overfull with secrets, yet we are ignorant of the iron secret. Seek out the Forgebound, and their master who even now makes for Lethian's Crossing. Have her sent to Cacaphony. I will guarantee her protection and safeguard her knowledge. An artist such as herself needs to be shielded from the perils of war. According to the whispers of our spies, a graybeard by the name of Eldian may be able to tell you more. We are nothing if not receptive to the wisdom of ages. Report back to us when you're finished. Our intelligence may be of use to you. Okay, what can you tell me about the burning library? A repository of books engulfed in the flame of Kairos' edict. Yet the pages refuse to burn. That's interesting. The sages cast protective magic over their ancient archive. Books by the thousand lay bare for the reading, but forbidden and hot to the touch. Then there's the greatest treasure of all, the Silent Archive, an intelligent living text. The archive is safeguarded in the lowest depths of the library, locked away from undeserving eyes. Our censor, dispatched to the library, seeks the archive as we speak. Tell me about the Silent Archive. A construct of magic and knowledge. It is a mere scroll to the touch, but it contains bottomless multitudes, each of the library's collected words given the soil to flourish and blossom. To possess the Silent Archive is to carry the Vellum Citadel in your back pocket. So earlier, in the start of the game, when you're making a whole bunch of choices, we decided to burn the Vellum Citadel to the ground. But it turns out, we've just learned that all of the knowledge contained within is survived. Probably because we also chose to give the sages inside a little bit of warning. So there's knowledge left in there, and it sounds like we are being sent to get it. So what do you know about this edict? Oh, don't be modest. It's a great honor to be Kairos' Firestarter. I am Kairos' Firestarter. The sages had plenty of chances to surrender, and a siege against their warding magic would have cost so many more lives. Really, it was an act of mercy. Okay, who is this censor character? A gang boss of no small standing. She takes it upon herself to be our Department of Information, burdened with matters of secrecy and lore. We sent her into conquered lands, and she returns with armloads of scrolls for our perusal. Okay, what can you tell me about Lethian's Crossing? We haven't burned the place to the ground or anything, so worry not. We take seriously the stewardship you bestowed upon us. Though the denizens seem to prefer the old governor to the current fool we have in place. The current fool we have in place. The Forgebound are the true gem of the crossing. They are keepers of the secrets of iron, so a tight-lipped bunch by nature. So in this world, iron can only be created by mages. Otherwise, everyone's kind of stuck with Bronze Age levels of technology. So who is the Forgebound Master? I think we met this person. Must you bore us with your incessant ponderings? Go speak with our lackey, Seven Toes. She can weather the relentless assault of your curiosity. Okay, fair. So we asked too many questions. That's funny. And upon finding us languishing on the ground, the Fatebinder wondered, what new madness has the voices devised today? We're drawing maps in the sand and seeking the counsel of insects. You wouldn't believe the things they tell us about the Song of War. What do you need to know? Okay. So, he seemed tired of us asking questions, but it looks like we can ask plenty more. So I want to ask about your power. You are a remarkable person. We must concede to your flattery, but we can't boast anything as incredible as power, can we? The green smoke behind his mask forms a crude smile. So when it's green, we can hover over the text, and this character is speaking to us telepathically. Through powers you can't begin to understand, the voices of Nerat steals the minds and knowledge of his victims. You know this happened often during the campaign against the Tears. What he gains from this ability, beyond his apparent madness, is anyone's guess. You know better than to ask him about it directly. So, okay, this isn't him speaking to us telepathically like I thought. This is... Our character is smart enough to know the answer to this question, and it would be a bad idea for us to ask it. We could ask it, but... what happens after you interrogate someone? Are you sure you want to know, Fatebinder? Let me make one thing clear. No matter how it starts, it always ends the same way, with a horrible death. It's a transcendent experience. The subject and I, we grow to trust, depend upon, and even love each other. We have long since learned that pain and the intensity of our conversation make strange bedfellows. Applied together, anything can happen. You never know. One day you might experience it yourself. That sounds like a threat. Have you ever tried to absorb another Archon? It amuses us to no end that you would bring that up. A brave question, full of meaning, of questions, of challenge. The Archon makes a determined fist and stares into you. We have had occasion to execute an Archon or two when Blended Mark was unavailable. This was all within the limits of the law, you understand. Someone gets an inflated sense of self-importance and decides to start their own small empire, and we step forward to volunteer our services. The experience was always less fulfilling than we had hoped. Their personality succumbs to us, but none of their power. A waste of potential, we'd call it. Is your knowledge limitless? What a question! We know many things beyond the purview of the disgusting farmers and merchants you'll find outside of our vaunted stronghold, much more than any of them could learn in 100 lifetimes. When you know as much as we do, this much will seem obvious. He leans uncomfortably close to whisper. Nothing is limitless, child. Okay. Would you tell me something about yourself? Let's just get to know this psychopath. Why, we're honored that you would ask. Sometimes, when we close our eyes, we see a vast, dry plain occupied by a man who walks in circles. Circles that grow tighter with each revolution. But we suspect that isn't what you want to know. A puff of green mist swirls from behind his mask, taking the form of a smile before dispersing. Yes, that's exactly it. Tell me more. You want more? Well, we're happy to indulge. We once challenged the Archon of Winds to a foot race. We won by planting a lackey at the finish line beforehand, wearing a believable replica of our mask. We got to call her the Archon of Gullibility for a decade. The Archon prattles on for several minutes, abruptly changing the subject just when your attention wanes. It's like we always said, if the Beastmen tribes recognized a quarter of their potential, they could devastate Kyrus' forces. He continues on to the next subject without pausing or giving you room to speak up. Let's keep listening. Tunon's gavel is only as powerful as his lawful right to wield it. Think about that. Does it muddle your senses to imagine how, as he goes on, you feel as if this good-natured discussion is entering dangerous territory? I know you might not understand this right now, but it has been talking for a very long time. Can we leave? Let's keep listening. But Have you plumbed the ocean's depths or peered into the spaces between stars? If people saw the world through our eyes, they wouldn't call us mad. We once dropped the seventh eye down a crevice just to see what was at the bottom. We were surprised to find you don't remember how the conversation got here, and that frightens you. Let's keep listening. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. The Archon talks at great length, leading you down a labyrinth of rhetoric at once alien and fascinating, sensible and mad. While the voices could sway masses, you get the impression that he is just as accustomed to jabbering to himself in isolation. You leave the experience in numb disbelief, wondering what you've taken away from the exchange. That was incredible. Thank you. The pleasure is ours, resplendent Fatebinder. It isn't rare that we have a captive audience, but it is always amusing. Okay. Alright, farewell. Just say farewell for now. And we can talk to Seven Toes here, so let's see what she has to say. I got a notification about an addendum added to my journal, I think. I'm not sure what that is. We'll check it out in a little bit. Hail, Fatebinder. The voices of Nerat ordered me to answer any of your pestering questions, so I guess that's what I'm here to do. She scoffs. Not what I'd call a lieutenant's work, but I'm not here to question the voices. What do you need from me? Well, first, tell me about yourself. I started out like most Scarlet Chorus rats, conscripted off the farm and armed with a pitchfork. It didn't take me long to warm up to the idea of Kairos' army. We had more freedom than the Tiers ever allowed, and I'd never been opposed to joining the winning side. I didn't want to see the whole war from the front lines, so the first order of business was to kill my gang boss and take his place. Easily done. He was a louse. I ran with at least a half-dozen gangs since the start of the conquest, and it funneled me all the way to Cacaphony. It's not an easy life, but there's no lack of amusement to be had and plenty of opportunities for advancement. If you're curious how I got this gig, you can check out the previous lieutenant over there. She thumbs over to a still figure impaled on a pike. The Voices is a sucker for ambition and clever solutions to a problem. Well, what do you think of the Voices of Nerat? He's the boss. He calls the shots and I follow. I don't ask a lot of questions. She glances around, uncomfortable. I'll say this much. You don't want to insult him, especially when he's going on about his art. He takes that sort of thing personally. Not that you could really tell under that great bronze helmet of his. Do you enjoy your work in the Scarlet Chorus? I enjoy surviving, and right now the chorus is the only way to do it. The disfavored don't allow foreigners into their legion until the war is over and the Tiers under Kairos' heel. It's red or dead. I never suspected I would have a taste for the work until I got started at the front lines. Something about carving a path through your enemies and watching the army grow behind you is just satisfying. Makes me feel good to belong to something. Alright, I have questions about my first task. Go ahead. Can't have you doing the Voice's bidding uninformed. He's not what you'd call a perfectionist, at least by our understanding of the word, but he likes to have his orders understood. Okay, what can you tell me about Lethian's Crossing? Alright, this is stuff that we know already. Okay, what about the Burning Library? Do we know this already? Who is this censor? One of the gang bosses. She wants to be the next Archon of Secrets, so she's positioning herself. She's positioning himself as the middlewoman between the Voices and any words of wisdom he considers valuable. We'll see how long that lasts. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's go to Lethian's Crossing then. I guess that is where we just were. Okay, well, I thought there would be more fighting here. So far that's not the case. Looks like we got a new email, so let's read that. Iron Fist. Do you remember your training under Mark? Oh, we completed a quest. Cool. I remember mine. Funny to think that you and I are about a century apart, but to Mark we are all children. I'm now the oldest of the court's children, and I've seen much in my time. It's probably for the best everyone assumes I'm old, harmless, and worth shuffling away in the archives. If I were scrutinized too closely, I'm sure Tunon would find I've grown lax in my spoiled old age. Part of why I am where I am is that I've kept my head down. You appear to be doing the opposite. In some regards, this is beyond your control. You were chosen for the honor of proclaiming Kairos' edicts twice. To decline would have meant death, but to accept means to be placed on the stage for all to see. Kairos' most powerful weapon is not the edict. It's her ability to hand us rope that we willingly use to hang ourselves. Never forget this. There are numerous questions nestled in your request. What is it you wish to know most? Focus your inquiry and I will answer as best I can. Well, let's ask about the spires then, because I'm curious about these mysterious magical towers. Dear Myothis, it seems wise to know one's own domain, and seeing as I'm now the master of the mountain spire, I ought to learn all that I can. If you would share with me what you know of the spires, I would be in your debt. I'll start with what I know and have observed so far. The mountain spires seemed to awaken at about the same instant that Kairos' edict of execution was put to rest. There was a burst of arcane energy that drowned out my senses, and I awoke at the summit of the spire in what seemed to be just a few heartbeats of time. Atop the spire is an old sculpture of sorts, and it seems to be the core from the spire's mystic energy. I've been seeing visions and receiving sensations from the sculpture. Seems odd to describe it as talking to me, but that seems to be the closest analogy. Am I the first to report such things? There are other spires elsewhere in the world, correct? Okay, so that's our email. We'll send that. Magic email, of course. And in one day we will get a response. So, we have a side quest to gather fingers. So let's do that first, as one does. We have to travel to the Broken Plain Wilderness. Oh right, there's this woman here who's asking for our help. So let's do that first, and then we'll leave. Pass judgment on me and free me from this torture. What crimes have you committed that would warrant my involvement? Or whether I help you or not depends on if you're willing to join the chorus. Yeah, we'll do that. She balks. Are you toying with me? I'd sooner die. It's only a matter of time before they toss me to the voices, whether I serve them or not. What crimes have you committed that would warrant my involvement? She perks up at your response, sauntering closer to the bars of her cage. Well, let's see. There was the time I killed an ox, even knowing they were rare. It was an accident, but I still rode her right off that bluff. She strokes the bars as she thinks, reaching for something stronger. I once spit on my mother. She was furious when she found me dabbling with earth magics. I frigged my cousin when we were 15, set a mountainside on fire. Oh, and Kairos is my middle name. Okay, so she's either looking to be freed or just killed because she doesn't want to be tortured by the voices of Nerat, I guess. I'm inclined to let her rot. We are playing the bad guy after all. Unfortunately, I have no legal cause to free you. Curse you, Fatebinder. She rattles the bars of her cage, and the ground around you trembles. Have you no human decency? Curse the lot of you, the chorus and Kairos too. All of you be damned by the Archons. I hope crows eat your corpse on the battlefield. I've been in her situation, and I recall soliciting passers-by for a mercy killing now and again. But legally, her knowledge and magical training is the property of Kairos, not something one can just discard on a whim. Thanks, Landry. Alright. Can I speak with this person now? Apparently not. Alright, let's head on out and go to this side quest area, where I assume there will be plenty of fighting. And this will be the first time I've actually done any fighting with our updated party, so this will be interesting. I've been doing the classic, you know, tank, healer, DPS kind of setup until now. But now we got 4 mages, so I'm hoping we can just like magic everything to death without too much trouble. So we are looking for the Broken Plains Wilderness, which is 2 days away. Interesting. Let's check it out. Ambush. Your journey is interrupted by the feral howls of a hunting pack of beastmen. Their leader is an impressive specimen, her mane black as night, and her body scarred from battle. Do we have to fight them? This place looks awesome. Before you towers a massive creature of fur and flesh, her short black snout snuffling in the air. Her name is Kills and Shadows, which is great.
Know this scent. Stench of blood, sweat, battle, iron and death. Stench of human called Fate Binder. Smells like alpha. Smells of strength.
The voice acting in this game is so random. I don't mind taking a break, but... The beast woman cocks her head to one side, eyes bright with curiosity and red as fresh blood. Those eyes rove your body up and down, darkening with a sudden heat, with the look that a predator bestows its prey.
Have been stalking human centrail. Have ranged many more than 5 nights through tribe and human territories of Tyr's land, hunting for human called Fate Binder, for human who woke horizon rock called Mountain Spire.
That's me.
Have hunted hot high, cold low, wet dry. Traipsed far until paws bled, but always human who smelled of alpha evaded beast woman. Had to slink through shadows, fast, fast, quick, without rest to catch delicious prey at last.
She tongues her blade sharp, discolored fangs and exhales a pleased growl. Your markings, you must be from the Shadowhunter tribe.
Fatebinder knows tribes of beast women. Curious human. Human who smells of alpha and knows of Shadowhunter tribe. Best tribe. Lost tribe of kills and shadow.
Let's slap her in the face. Thick muscles ripple and flex as the beast woman rises to her full height. She towers over you, 8+ feet of savage, rough-hewn strength. Her coat is matted and scarred. She spits a wad of blood and mucus at your feet.
We'll kill. We'll rip throat out. We'll lash, twist, tear, and mangle.
Okay. I thought I was, like, showing dominance or something. Okay, that did not pause like I thought it would. Okay. Lady, if you're still here, this is what combat actually looks like in this game. Let me see here. So Lantry's got his buffs going on, so let's go ahead and put a single buff on himself, and we'll do the same with my character. Ebb, I want you to use your fancy new Despair magic. Yeah, like that. See how far that gets us. Alright, let's just use this thrust ability.
Will do.
Oh boy. Well, I'm taking a lot of hits, but we seem to be doing a lot of damage as well, so I will take it. Wow, that worked really well. Alright, let's just keep punching these guys.
Follow my shadows.
Gotta level up. Holy smokes. This is going remarkably well.
Uh-huh.
Ringing sound? It's not just in your ears.
Oh, we won. Well, right, we won, but I thought we, like, killed them, but now they're just, like, bloodied and battered, I guess. Battered and bloodied, the beast woman drops to all fours. She crouches low, belly rubbing the dirt as she ducks her head in a show of submission. Yield or die.
Yield, yield, yield! Kills and shadow yields to Fatebinder.
Cool, okay. Why have you tracked me down? Why get in my way?
No human called Fatebinder. Kairos breathes words on paper. Fatebinder binds words to earth and sky, makes ground tremble, makes night cry, blood and fire.
Let's say nothing.
Tribes of Kairos fear Fatebinder. Human Alpha claimed Horizon Rock called Spire, and Archons did not kill Fatebinder. Archons rolled over and whined, covetous.
So what would a beast woman know of Tunon's Fatebinders?
Human is not first Fatebinder. Kills in shadow has hunted.
She chuffs, darkly amused.
Kairos hunts human realms to extinction. Rules tribe of blood and ruin, starvation and death. Seeks to slaughter beast women like prey. But beast women are not prey. Are not flighty, feeble-minded humans.
Kills in Shadow spits a gob of tawny mucus on the ground. Tawny mucus. The writing in this game is so good.
Women are savage hunters. Bred to fight Nerat.
Fight, kill, ret.
Who smells of alpha.
Like me, apparently.
Strong always kill weak, then grow weak. Nor killed is migration of life. But kills in shadow is not weak now. Will not be weak for many long seasons. Will join Fatebinder and survive Kairos' tribe.
So is this a new party member? I was under the impression we had gotten all of the party members. If you want to join me, it'll have to be as my beta.
Kills in shadow is not beta. But even alphas submit to stronger-willed primas. Many packs make a tribe. Is this not a thought humans also understand? Beast Woman will follow Fatebinder. Will not dominate. Unless Fatebinder begins to smell weak.
She tongues one of her upper fangs, lips split in a feral grin. Alright, fine, but keep your nose to yourself. The beast woman huffs and turns to address her pack.
Kills in shadow will not shelter stone whelps anymore. Scamper and flee! Do not want to see shadows lurking, stalking behind. Barb Cleft is leader now.
Barb cleft. The pack hesitates, causing Kills in Shadow to emit a low, menacing growl.
Will not like if Kills in Shadow catches sight or scent of stone mongrels again.
She's a party member. That's awesome. Man. I'm not going to change the party right now. But I mean, we've got like 6 party members to choose from now. And a beast woman is amazing. So this is cool. I like this a lot. All right. We just unlocked an achievement too, apparently. Alright, we have some leveling we need to do. Is that for me? No, it is for Ebb here. Who's... Oh, right. So this area is a little interesting as far as party composition goes because we all take a hit to magic because of this whole edict going on right now. Okay, well, anyway. Good to know, I guess. We have 1 point, right? Yes, 1 point. Let's maybe put a point into deflection. And for abilities, we were giving her Grave Light magic. Right? Yes, Grave Strike, and then there is... Interesting, grants a bonus to Grave Light at night. She can be more frightening to magical enemies. Or we can boost her barrier. You just keep boosting. I love the passives in this. I love all the abilities in this game because they all are things that I want and I can't have them, which is agonizing as hell, but it means they did a really good job of making these abilities. We haven't really been going the frost damage route, but let me see here. If we put another point into this tree, we'll unlock another tier down here, it looks like. Afflictions applied to Ebb have their durations reduced. Well, why don't we just do that? That seems useful. Okay. Awesome. Let's go loot some stuff. Frequent attempts to harvest the Azurlith crystals have made the Stone Stalkers more hostile to any humans who enter the Stone Sea. So this area is called the Stone Sea, I guess? Looks super cool. Azurlith crystals are found throughout the Stone Sea and are highly revered by the Stone Stalkers. I don't know what the Stone Stalkers are.
Can't do that.
Whoops, come on. So we were on our way to the Broken Plains. All right. And we got a new email. Okay, so here we are supposed to kill every disfavored soldier you find and kill the lieutenant in charge of the disfavored. So we're just on a straight up murder quest. Let's go ahead and save. And let's see how well we do here with this mage party, because they did amazingly well against that beast woman just now. Okay, these are disfavored people, so let's sneak. Haven't really done much sneaking, but there might be traps around, and I would like to avoid triggering them. Oh. Okay, we have some dialogue, but I'm not sure. Oh, okay, there's this guy here on the ground. I don't know how well he shows up, but okay. Piss it all, I'm Swivin done for. Do you need a hand? Yeah. He coughs, racking whole-bodied, staining his lips with blood. I could. All I can taste is blood and shit. Can't be good. Ooh. Disfavored got us good. Don't suppose you're up to avenging us? Or better, saving our asses? I'll help you, but then you're to join the Scarlet Chorus in payment. Only difference between the Brotherhood and the Chorus is the Chorus doesn't pay. I like to get paid. Well, you can plunder as much as you want as you conquer the tiers. That should more than make up for your lack of a paying contract. Anyone ever tell you Fatebinders are hard to argue with? He grins wanly. Patch me up and kill those disfavored fuckers. I'll join your chorus. Alright. Conscript the injured Bronze Brotherhood soldiers. We're trying to make the Bronze Brotherhood happy, so
Want me to be subtle?
this'll be interesting. Let's see if we can, like, I don't know, give a potion to this guy or something. There's another enemy down there. Let's quick save one more time and see if we can get closer to this guy on the ground. Okay, that's just junk, I think. Alright, quick save one more time, and I think we're just gonna run up
Aye.
and just punch these folks in the face and see what happens.
More tallies to the body count.
Right.
We're doing some good damage.
Could this weapon be any more useless?
Okay. Man, we're doing really good. Like, this game, I haven't like had any like really hard difficulty spikes, but suddenly the game is much easier. It's fine. It's fine. I just feeling a little bewildered at the moment. Pleasantly bewildered, let's say. Okay, these guys, they might be a little more trouble, but we'll see.
Another battle. I'm starting to think we're bad at making friends.
Okay, so your character who sings is actually singing. That's really cool. Alright. Let's try some active abilities here since they're taking a little bit more damage. Wish I could turn the camera around to see this better.
I always hit the mark.
Hey, nobody saw that, right?
Alright, this guy is taking a bit more hits, I guess. But he's pretty low. I think we'll have him here in just a second. Yeah, alright, great. Okay, don't need that.
Right.
Let's fill in the map here, as one does.
Can't do that.
Oh, right, there's some folks up here, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's quick save. The sneaking thing, while agonizingly slow, has been working fairly well, so
Moving cautiously.
we're gonna stick with that. Or actually, yeah, let's have everybody
Will do.
attack her. Just because it looks like she's got less armor than this big boy here. Singing is creepy as hell. Okay. Let's try this. And let's try this. Silence is good. Alright, now we can focus him down. Let's light his ass on fire.
Right.
Doing good on health.
Far worse.
He's like, I've had far worse. I'm like, I don't know if that's true, buddy. You're pretty fucked at the moment. Great. The whole bard thing is such an interesting thing to me. This is the first game I've played where you have a bard character and it's like cool and kind of scary and badass all at the same time. I don't know. It's really good. I like this. Why? Oh, okay. We got some more people to the west here, it looks like. Alright, let's quick save and
I'll stay out of sight.
maybe we should take on the heavy
Will do.
the heavy first rather. Oh, this is a big squad. Alright, this is gonna be interesting.
Destroy them!
This weapon isn't entirely worthless.
We'll see how this goes. Alright, they are targeting my bard, little shits. Alright, well, let's do that. Lantry, why don't you go ahead and heal up her? And Ebb, I would love it. Let's see here. I would love it if you could just zap these guys. It's these ranged characters that are fucking me over. Yeah, the soundscape for this is harsh at times, let's say. Oh, this is so cool. Let's drown an enemy with a globe of water to his head. Yes? Yeah, let's do it. Oh, that just killed him, which is fair. Alright, I need all of you to attack him. That would be great. You are gonna punch him really hard. Oh, wow.
I am not long for this world.
Okay, Lantry, I could use some more healing. Okay, it will have to be Ebb, it looks like. Okay.
Will do.
Alright, let's try one of these one per rest abilities because it looks super overpowered and we need some healing.
We make this look easy.
Holy shit, we are just like hovering in the ground. Over the
On
ground.
it.
Oh, but we can't do any damage. Or we can't move. Okay, good to know. The hilarious overpowered ability does have limits. Hey, Artyom, how you doing? We are finally getting some fights in after, like, over 2 hours straight of just talking and reading. My throat is kind of gone, I'll be honest. Okay. Oh, nice! You got a new player. That's awesome. You guys were playing today. How did you have a tournament or a match, or were you just practicing?
What's this over here?
What is this? I don't know. Oh. Okay. On weapon crit, do extra damage. Oh boy. Old School J, awesome. Is he a big 6DOF fan? I would think he, with the name, he would be a big Descent fan. So, the DPS of this is higher. We have less deflection, but slightly better recovery. I don't know, you guys. This seems like an upgrade. Unless I'm misinterpreting, which is entirely possible. Oh, he was a Overload Kickstarter backer. Oh, awesome. Cool. You traded him a December shirt for a Kickstarter poster. That's cool. That's a nice little confluence of interests there. I really wish these armor comparison things were easier to understand. I like RPG shit, but all these numbers just makes my head spin. DPS is 15.5 versus 13.5, so that seems better, right? This seems better. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is better. Alright, let's give that to my main character. Let's go ahead and equip it. Yeah, let's equip that. Great. What is this? I thought I saw a... Oh, we have... Okay, we don't need that anymore. Okay. Okay, we are still looking for the lieutenant, and we are trying to conscript the Bronze Brotherhood. So, I believe we got a couple folks right here we can try to conscript, right? Ain't enough rings in the tiers to make me fight a disfavored again. Shit, I think I'm dying. Swear your fealty to the Scarlet Chorus and I'll help you. I swear it, just stop the bleeding, quick. Alright, well, that worked out. So we got 2 out of 3 conscripted. Apparently I can't interact with this one. This one doesn't count as far as the 2 out of 3 goes. Few forces can dispatch the Bronze Brotherhood with such ease. These corpses look like they haven't been dead for very long. Alright. Save. Can we walk up here? Looks like we can. Oh, wait. Let's make sure we got everybody.
Will do.
Okay, junk. Oh, that's everything. Okay, let's go loot this guy over here. Also junk. Alright, we have some recruitable people here and some enemies here. Iron Walker, that might be the lieutenant we're looking for, I'm not sure. Alright, let's sneak. Yeah, let's sneak and let's creep up to this guy, see how it goes. Oh, we got a mage. Yeah, let's attack the mage first. Oh, nice. Oh wow, Ebb is taking some hits. Okay. Let's see, what can we do about that? Let's try Light of the Grave. That sounds awesome. Right, okay. Oh no, Ebb died. Shit. Okay, Landry, you need to revive her, please.
Doesn't kill me, leaves me pure and jaded.
Wow,
Don't go rushing off to get
he
the
just
stars again.
kicked her down. Holy smokes. Alright, you drink a potion if you got one. Do you have one? Okay, that worked pretty well. Alright, you, I think, need some vitality buffs.
I need to try a different weapon.
Let's try that, and then we are gonna light you on fire. Actual fire. Okay. Not bad. Alright, let's mark him so everybody does more damage. And Ebb, I would like you to drain health. That would be wonderful. Just like that. Okay. And you, let's see here. Let's put some evasion on our main character. Wow, everybody's just getting knocked down. This is unfortunate. Okay, let's do some AoE heals. That sounds wonderful.
Did all this.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I thought we were doing great, and we're only doing kind of okay. And we don't have any revival potions, so Lantry might be down for the count here. Alright, let's have our own character take a potion at least. Alright, well, we'll try to focus down this one first. What do you do again? Let's try that. That magic effect is really cool, I think. Okay, are you sure you don't have a revive potion? I guess not. Man, that is a bummer. Alright, let's just keep with the punching. That seems reasonable. Man, he's taking some hits. Okay, we did kill the lieutenant, so that's great. And we got a level up, looks like. Let's try doing some more damage. Ebb, why don't you... Let's see here. Let's try the water drowning trick again. That would be great.
Whatever you need.
Okay, so this is probably hard to see a little bit, but this character now has a magical globe of water surrounding her head, and she is drowning. Magic in this game is scary and kind of terrifying. Okay, great. Lantry is up and about again, it looks like. And we can recruit this fella over here. Ugh. Swear your fealty and I will help you. Trusting a sellsword's word? I promise anything you want if you heal me. Alright. Alright, so we conscripted everybody we needed to, and we got a level up out of it. Okay, what do we want to do here? I guess just more spell strength, right? I mean, she sings everybody to death, so we want more of that. Okay. Let's just boost her damage repulsion. That just sounds like a good choice. Okay, so when we get back to Cacophony, we can turn this in. Let's check our emails. Our magic emails, of course. Greetings, Iron Fist. You are correct. There are spires all across Terratus. The exact distribution of these monuments fuels all sorts of debate and speculation, but two facts seem commonplace. Most spires are built near old walls. Your mountain spire is a notable exception, and nearly every culture that predated Kairos has some local myth to explain the builders of these spires. I believe the Tiersmen cite the Older Realms as their local name for the spire old walls architects, but nobody knows for sure. And of course, where Kairos has brought proper civilization, the origin of the spires simply isn't discussed in good company. Here's what I think you need to know. First, the spires behave as arcane lodestone. There is a constant field of magical strength around a spire. If you imagine a mystic sea resting atop our world, the spires seem to spin and churn this magic, creating a spell cast with even modest effort will materialize with powerful results. So casting magic near these towers will be more powerful, is how I'm currently interpreting that. Second, and I'd say most tellingly, Kairos has laws against entering the old walls, but there are no laws against the spires. You could infer from this that means Kairos has no issue with the lay folks messing with the spires, but wishes to keep us safe from the old walls. Or you could think like an overlord and know that if you place a rule against something, you make it forbidden and desirable. Now I find it telling that Kairos forbids the hallways that lead to the spires, but does not paint a target on the spires themselves. Last but not least, as a young fate binder, I once had to oversee the case of a man who had built a shrine to Kairos around the base of a spire in the far southeast. I could find no evidence of falsity or slander. His shrine was the most reverent and loving tribute as I've ever seen. At one point, though, this man claimed he had evidence that Kairos was here back in -50. He had merely uttered those words, and my senior binder swung the axe then and there. Being the new girl at the court, I said nothing, but I have long wondered why such a comment should require death instead of the traditional removal of the tongue. That is extremely interesting. We know very little about the Overlord's history, so hearing that somebody was killed outright for even mentioning something that happened before the Overlord came to power is kind of interesting. Okay, let's inquire about edicts and their nature. Dear Myothis, thank you for hearing me out. I have more questions than I have ink, but let's start with a discussion of Kairos' edicts. I've lived under, proclaimed, and resolved edicts, which makes me far more knowledgeable than the layperson on the subject, and yet I still know so little. Alright, let's send that, and in one day we will get a response. Oh, this is the song. Okay, this is the, I guess, display for the song that Siren will sing as our bard. Our angsty teenage bard with so much baggage. Okay, oh wait, let's loot. Loot. Nothing useful. And we'll just fill in the map before we head back to Lethian's Crossing. Yeah, we talked to them already. Okay. let's head back to the top of our tower. See if anything happens on the way there. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright, we've got some new people here. We have a new party member, the beast woman named Kills in Shadow. Doesn't look like we can rest here, which is unfortunate. Let's talk to Phyla. I think she's new. I could be wrong. I think she's new. A mage peruses the library with an amused expression. It takes a while for her to notice you. Fatebinder? I was wondering when I would meet my patroness. She bows. Philia of the Forgebound. Before you ask me what a smith is doing away from the forge, well, I'm taking a break from ironwork, and this library suits my tastes at present. So what's the plan now that you're here? I need some time away from the war effort. Assembling the same swords and helmets, using our intellect and art to equip an army, she shivers. The Forgebound are masters of our craft, but we're artists at heart, and this war has misused our talents. I want to spend some time among these books, recalling what got me interested in the arcane in the first place. Teaching you should fulfill a similar goal, though I won't know for certain until I get started. Where shall we begin? Well, you tell me. Let's talk magic. Cool. So this is our lore and overall magic trainer. Let's yeah, just put a few points into this. How about you? Sure. Oh, did we just level up Landry? That would be great. Okay. We did level him up. Awesome. Let's do it. Let's do some magic defense. And as far as abilities go, we could just improve his healing, which honestly I'm kind of inclined to do. He's got a bonus to arcane armor and defense. We could boost that. We could improve his lore. That's always tempting. Man, all of these are good. I love all of them. We've been ignoring his like thrown quill abilities. Oh, cool. Gosh, every level up is agonizing. Let's boost the healing. I think we could use that. That last fight was a bit more challenging than normal, so we could use more healing. Okay, wonderful. Let's go talk to this person, Velos, whoever you are. The sage examines a scroll, taking in every detail of his handiwork. Did you know there are 7 ways to write fire, but only 2 for water? He continues to examine the scroll without the slightest sign that he was expecting an answer. Could it be that fire has more meaning in our era? There's a short pause before he realizes you've actually approached him for something. Oh, my apologies, Fatebinder. I could be taken for a ride by my own trains of thought. I'm sure there is something you need from me. You seem fairly versed in the common language. Did you study at the Vellum Citadel? Velos scowls and contorts his face into a tight knot. Yes, that is what it used to be called before Kyros's edict fell upon us all, taking thousands of years of knowledge and reducing it to ash. That's an almost traitorous statement. He quickly regains his composure. My apologies, Fatebinder. The wound is still fresh for many of us. Please, let me be of service to you. Well, what have you made for me, buddy? Scrolls and a recipe. Okay. Alright, what is the status of your research? I did research something. I do not remember what it was. We're not currently researching anything. Okay. So we have a library. And we don't have enough recruits at the library to do any more upgrades, it appears. So if we were to hire another trainer, right, no, we want this. Well, actually, I think since I'm here, I'm going to hire a person there. And okay, so at this tower, we could do rare magical scrolls. I mean, that sounds nice. Oh, we're getting low on money. Let's just do this. Irina will appear the next time we're here. Wonderful. Let's talk to this spire worker. Okay. Okay. So that's everybody here, I think. Let's have a quick chat with our party members just to see what they have to say. Ebb glares at you, her jaw thrust, eyes furrowed. For a long moment, she just looks at you with great intensity, eyebrows twitching, her nostrils flaring with each exaggerated exhale.
I'm working on my impression of you, trying to capture your silent interrogation routine. How am I doing?
I like Ebb a lot. Strike your meanest pose needs more implied violence. You gained loyalty with Ebb. She folds her arms and leans in toward you. She flexes her upper body, sneering her lip as she does. The sum total is more clownish than menacing.
Now, who am I kidding? I couldn't scare my daughter into bed when I was 5 times her height. What is it you need?
I just wanted to see if you had anything new to say, but... Okay. What do you make of Siren?
We've all heard legends of child archons, but Siren is the real thing. She's so very jaded for her age. And that I'd be a sour ninny shitter too if I had a contraption stuck on my head limiting my greatness. I'll tell you this much. Her hatred of the voices of Nerat is either genuine or a most fantastic act. But being a giant liar, I know another liar when I see one. And I'd wager this gripe is sincere.
I'm glad you noticed. Would you say it sounds like better overall? I played around with some filters in OBS to increase the gain and filter out some of the junk, in the signal. It's still not great, but I think it's better. I'm probably gonna pick up a new mic here in either this month or next month, depending on money, Cool, good. I'm glad. I like you do, I went back to some of my old streams and was just seeing how they sounded, and I was just horrified by some of it. And I have that link actually. Thank you. I'm leaning towards right now getting the Elgato Wave 3, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still stewing it over. That's obviously more expensive than the set that you've got. But I'm still weighing in my mind what I want, so we'll see. Dantalos, welcome. It's been good. We have a new party member. We have the Beast Woman, Kills and Shadows, I think her name is. And we're doing some quests for Nerat. at the moment, but I'm checking in on my party. Combat has been going amazingly well. I've got a party of mages now, and they're just cleaning up. We did have one fight that got a little dicey, but not too bad. Yeah, she was extremely entertaining when I first met her. I slapped her to show dominance, and then we fought, and then she submitted, and now she's my best friend, apparently. So this game continues to be excellent. Okay, continue. I'm well aware that she may have already said something to me to make me more comfortable with her presence. And if she did, how would I know she is influencing me or not? If she is playing me, I applaud how well she's doing it. Okay, tell me your thoughts on kills in shadow.
So long as she doesn't perceive you weak enough to challenge, kills in shadow should prove a fearsome, loyal retainer.
Hell yeah. I find it strange. In humans, Kairos' invasion spawned despair, surrender, rage. But the beastmen seem almost indifferent to Kairos, and unshaken by the constant state of war the Tears have seen.
And Kills in Shadow adopts this optimism more than any. Seems she has no room to be sad about what the Overlord has destroyed. She seems to care only about what can be carved out of what remains. I try to find inspiration in that.
I'm still a little baffled at what has voice acting and what doesn't, but it's fine.
Ask away.
That might be...
You know, I normally charge for this, but for you...
Okay, let's go through this. I think I skipped this earlier. What can you tell me about your magical tradition? So she spawns water on people's heads and, like, lifesteal magic, which is so fun to use so far. So let's see if she tells us anything more about that.
Now, you know that's a very personal question. The knowledge I have is a centuries-old gift from the Archon of Tides. I would sooner discard my life than the sanctity of that gift. I will speak in generalities only.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, okay. Tell me about how you influence Terratus Grave. Trade secret, not one I'm going to talk about. The Skull of Tides dies with me, and so too will this. And don't bother trying to change my mind on this matter, it will just get ugly quick. I believe my character's asking about the lifesteal magic, if I'm interpreting that correctly, which again has been really satisfying and fun to use. Tell me how you influence ice, mist, and other forms of water. With years of training. Now look, most of those secrets have already been stolen ages ago by the sages. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell you just because the secret's already out. But it means you can go ask someone else if you really feel so entitled to know. I liked Eb, but she's being a little reticent for my tastes. And before you ask, I've learned plenty from knowledge stolen by the sages, but no, I don't know how to do what Eb does, magically or otherwise. I was going to ask Landry, but okay. Can you teach me what you know? I suppose I'm capable of it, but no. The secrets of the Archon of Tides dies with me. I could command her, but I don't think that'll go well, so we'll just skip that. What are the if anything, eventually maybe my loyalty will be high enough that she'll teach me willingly, but who knows. What are the philosophical teachings of your magic? There's a question I can answer. It would surprise you little to learn that we see all things, people, wars, seasons, to be cyclical, waxing and waning through their various forms, like the tides and the light of Terratus Grave. Terratus, the planet, has 2 satellites visible by the naked eye, the tide-locked Terratus Grave and the rapidly orbiting Interloper. Interesting. The mind is limited. We're born and spend our lives dodging death. We expect all stories to have a beginning and end. We assume all things start and stop just like us. In truth, all things are cycles, some by matter of minutes, other by matters of years or lifetimes. In the school of tides, we appreciate patterns of all sorts. Most are called to the depths, others find their interests skybound. Many still find the tides of human emotion and political fortunes far more intriguing than inanimate tides found in the orbits and oceans. From what archon do the tidecaster draw upon for their magic? The first tidecasters were given the gift of magic by our school's founder, occulted Jade, Archon of Tides. Though she was not of Kairos' ilk, she was as powerful as any Archon, and from her name and legacy we can mimic the moon's pull on the seas and change the currents. That's awesome. And it's from her that we have spells to turn the moon's pleasant hues into a baleful ray of searing grave light. In all these years I have not grown tired of the thrill of power. It's a rush of carnal humors every time. Alright, I'm guessing you can tell me more than I ever wanted to know about the moons. You'd be right. My magic is generally associated with the moon Terra's grave, but you have to know where Interloper is in the sky when mucking about with mystic forces. Do you control water, or do you mimic the tidal effects the moons have on water? Both, actually. I'm amused you're keen on the difference. Our spells of ice and mist affect water directly, but are of limited volume. Displacing your own body weight in water is no mean feat. But if I were to move an ocean current, I'd drive myself nuts moving water in front of a boat a little at a time. That's where I'd use a cantrip to simulate a tidal pull. Terra's grave is a big one, right? Terra's grave is fixed in the sky, always overhead, day and night. See, hearing this kind of stuff makes me wish this was like a third-person or first-person game, so that I could like look up in the sky and see, this moon that they talk about. It was first named by folks living far to the east. They'd look to the west and see the moon like a permanent hill on the horizon, a grave where the sun dies each evening. Wow. That's how the older folks saw it. If you live in the western part of the world, Terra's grave is overhead all the time. This means that day and night, it's reflecting the sun's rays, and if you know what you're doing, it doesn't just reflect, it magnifies. Oh, so that's why she has a passive, I think, that makes her stronger at night, because the moon is out. That makes sense. Smart, playing a game and never looking up. Then you look up and it's the moon from Zelda, grinning down at you maniacally. Ugh, creepy. Interloper is the one that moves in the sky, if I remember the lessons correctly. Exactly. Interloper orbits Terratus at a steady clip, and its orbit sometimes crosses in front of Terratus' grave, leading to mystical calamity if you don't know what you're doing. Have you heard anything from the Tidecasters that left before the war? No, and I don't like entertaining the hope. Those cowards are all gone. If they didn't die at sea, they are dead to me. Harsh? You remember Skyrim the first time you saw two moons, or you realized there were two moons? Yeah, I love, and I replayed Morrowind recently, and just seeing the night sky with the moons, it was one of my favorite parts of revisiting that game. I don't remember if I installed a mod that made them more prominent or not, but yeah, I love that stuff. Alright, let's talk about other arcane matters.
I normally charge for this, but for you...
Do you know anything about the magic of the Archons? Enough to know I'm out of my element. That is to say, I've studied the many Archons a great deal, and I have a great number of hypotheses and conjectures, but, well, I'm no expert yet. And like most who have invoked the Archons of times past to work magic, I do wonder what difference of birth or experience gives one the magical potential to be an Archon. Den, have you played any of the Final Fantasy games? I remember the highlight moment of Final Fantasy IV is when a whale flies you to the moon. I think it was 4. Anyway, that happens. Just FYI, if you want more moon games. Most of my studies have been into the question of origins of form. It's known we can emulate the magic of Archons that came before us, but is it possible to tap into the magic of Archons yet to be? So far the answer seems to be no. She looks at the ground with a rumpled smirk. I mean, a smirk, you know, is like a yeah, I don't know. But what is a rumpled smirk? Is that like more wavy lips? I don't know. It's mysteries. Do you know anything about the old walls and the spires? You have not. Well, I know we all have tons of games to play, but that's one to check out. Not enough. Never enough. Ebb smiles, twirling her staff in her hands. As a child, I was terrified of the old walls. I think that's true of most folk. Now that I can arc grave light with a wiggle of my fingers, well, I think when I'm a shriveled old hag dying in the old walls would be a great way to go. Can you tell me of the Bane? The game has been talking up the Bane quite a bit, but we have yet to meet any of them. What I know is largely taken from Master Camberol's work and some near-fatal experience of entering close to the old walls. As best I understand it, the Banes are bits of magical will that have an extended life of their own. I'm of the belief that they nest or reproduce in the old walls, the only place you regularly find them. Our magic attracts the Bane, that much I know to be true firsthand. Again, this is personal theory, but I'm guessing they eat or drink magic, so our spells are invitations to dine. So, if I go into the old walls, should I not bring a party of mages? I mean, we wanted to bring Lantry with us for the lore buffs, but you're not sure. They have effectively talked up the Bane. I mean, they sound like the worst monsters imaginable at this point, and so I'm expecting the worst whenever I finally get around to meeting any of them.
Water Mystic's insight is keen.
Oh.
Have also honed claws by hunting Bane?
The Beast Woman sniffs and gives a slight nod. She rumbles a light purr of approval.
Well, I left out the part about all the times I've had to run for my life because I got too curious.
Ebb lifts up the fabric of her sarong to show a deep scar on her hip. Kills in Shadow chuffs happily. She shakes her mane and snorts.
Is nothing. His scar-brewed whelps earn in second season kill. Scars of near death cut deeper.
She traces one of the longer, jagged lines that jigsaw her ribs and chest. How are you still alive?
Will not die so easily. I'm not like humans.
I cannot imagine trying to do that voice.
Ask away.
Okay, I think we've finished catching up with her. Let's see. Lantry, what do you think of our new party member?
One moment, my friend. Just let me finish this thought.
Alright, I have some questions for you.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss? Well, you might want to ask a more soldierly type about the armies, but do you want to talk?
Okay, that's not what... Okay, well, let's try this one more time.
One moment, my friend.
Current matters?
Of course. How can I help?
Ah, our traveling associates.
Are you asking for an objective assessment? Or is this your way of saying you want to gossip?
What is your read on kills in Shadow?
Aggressive, homicidal, and best kept on a long leash with a longer whip? I'm a poor judge of beasts. I've known so few, and none resemble the scribes and scholars to which I'm accustomed. But there's a blunt honesty to her that I rather enjoy. She wants to bask in your power and makes no excuses for the self-interested nature of her loyalty to you. Such refreshing transparency is rare in humans.
I think a fun party would be to run with a verse and kills in Shadow. And maybe Lantry or Ebb to provide color commentary on that. Just the most bloodthirsty characters, basically. Okay. What are we doing? We are... The Voices of Nerat has asked you to go to Lethian's Crossing and bring back the leader of the Forgebound. I have no idea how this is going to work out, so let's just go down and see. We'll go talk to Eldian first, I think, before we talk to the Forgebound leader. And I think we met another Forgebound person who kind of wants to take charge. So maybe this will make a few people happy. We'll see. Alright, this is a long loading zone. That's right. Alright, we want to... Voice is going. Might have to call it soon. But anyway, let's... I think we want to go here. Speak... Oh. Okay, alright, hold on. Speak to Harshian Bronze. That just popped up. I have to remember where he is. I think he's up here. Harshian Bronze, yes. Ah, Fatebinder. Come to stock up, I see. Harshian Bronze at your service. What can I do for you? The Voices of Nerat told me to speak with you when I arrived. Of course, I received a missive mentioning you would be arriving. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell you at the moment other than the Forgebound Master has arrived in Lethian's Crossing. You should probably go to the Forge and find out what's going on. The Forgebound and I aren't really on the best terms. Well, I know where the Forge is, but let's just see what he has to say. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Bronze Brotherhood? I haven't seen much of them in the past few years. I suppose some of my customers are probably Bronze Brotherhood in disguise, trying to get supplies for their camps, but I can never be certain. Doesn't really matter, I'm friendly with them, but it's not like I'm going to give away any sensitive information to them. Okay. Enough of that. Let's visit the Forge. Run, my friends. I said I know where the Forge is, and now I don't actually know where I am. I'm going. I think I went to the wrong place, though. Yep. Okay. I think I need to go a little further north. And I forgot this city has long loading times. There we go. Maybe it was up here? No? Ah, here. Might be here. We'll just check them all, I guess. Yes, we did it. Okay, great. Let's save. And I think we want to talk to Eldian first. Oh, cutscene time. Master, the Fatebinder, is here. Zedenia, Master of the Forge. Zedenia turns and approaches you, her lithe body moving fluidly as she walks. She stops before you, her stance solid and sure, but you see she is standing lightly on her feet, ready to move if necessary. She never takes her eyes off you, but you know she is acutely aware of her surroundings. Fatebinder, may the fires of your forge never cool. She salutes you. I had hoped our paths would cross. We've met her before. Apparently I've done some stuff out of order, but it's fine. Allow me this opportunity to thank you for your aid to the crossing those years back. Dispatching the disfavored to call what they could of the scourges was a blisteringly good idea. What can the Servant of the Flame do for you? Well, why have you come to Lethian's Crossing? What an odd question, Fatebinder. When you showed up in the Forge, I thought you had been sent to check up on me. As my mission came directly from Tunon, shouldn't you already know? I was tasked with creating an artifact to protect the Forge-bound from the Bane. We have been delayed too often and lost too many of our own, so it was decreed that something must be done. I created the Mage Bane helm to keep the Bane at bay. Once the helm is in place, its magic will keep the Bane locked away inside the old walls. Interesting. Why did you create a helm? Forge-bound are crafters of weapons and armor, Fatebinder, not statues and baubles. I make what I know. It is also portable and can be moved easily or used in battle should its protection be needed elsewhere in the future. For the time being, though, it will remain here, protecting the Forge-bound. We have a job to do and cannot do it properly if we are constantly assaulted by outside forces. Well, why do you stay here if the Bane are such a threat? This forge is in the shadow of the old walls in an area rich with iron. We have ample supply of raw material and the influence of ancient magics. It's an acceptable risk, and with the helm in place, the Bane will no longer be an issue. Okay, why were you asked to create this item? Couldn't any Forge-bound here do it? All Forge-bound are masters at their craft, but each also has their special talents. The Mage Bane required someone whose skills were well above those who haven't been practicing as long as I have. Tunon wanted a masterpiece, so he asked the master. Well then, how did you become master? I was trained at a young age to be a warrior, but never felt any connection to that life, except when I was instructed how to repair my equipment. The fire spoke to me. It sang when I stoked it and told me where to swing my hammer to achieve the proper shape. I knew from that first moment that it would be my life. I apprenticed with the Forge-bound and focused exclusively on my craft. Soon my skills were superior to everyone else. I took risks with magic no one else dared to touch and created some of the most powerful artifacts ever to come from the Forge-bound. Kairos recognized my skills and granted me the title Master of the Forge. This is why Tunon asked me personally to create an artifact to protect Lethian's Crossing. Alright, well, I have a request to make of you. Unfortunately, I don't have time to entertain your request right now, Fatebinder. I was just on my way to place the helmet. I need to get it set up as soon as possible. The settlers have created a spot on the 3rd tier. If you don't mind, join me in Eldian, and we can speak there. Okay. I think I know the spot they're talking about. May the silence of peace and the jangling of rings both follow you in all things. Right. We met him before, so don't think we have anything new to ask. Okay. He is a slow walker. Okay, observe the placement of the Mage Bane helm. Have we met these folks before? Yes, we have. Okay. What about you? We've met you as well. Okay, great. Let's go to our objective. We gained control of this spire, which is in the center of that image there. But there was a locked door that we could not enter, so I'm kind of guessing
I got it.
that maybe something in this quest will unlock that door, maybe? We'll see. But we gotta do a big bunch of walking around first to get to where we're going. Perhaps, he said coyly. It is done. Yeah, that's definitely flowing into the tower. Good, good. Now the people of Lethian's Crossing have one less thing they must worry about. Fatebinder, will you go inside and see what effect the helm is having on the Bane? Huh. We're just gonna leave it sitting there, out in the open? Give me some credit, Fatebinder. I haven't cast the protection magics on it yet. But before I do that, someone needs to go inside the old walls and ensure everything is working properly. She looks at Eldian and raises her eyebrows. I'm sorry, Zedenia, but the safety of the crossing and its citizens is my top priority. I don't doubt you, but I need to know the Bane are contained. Kairos' law states that no one is allowed to enter the old walls, but if no one goes inside, we will never know if the helmet is working. I will do this for you. Thank you, Fatebinder. Your help is invaluable. I just need to know my citizens are safe. That's fair. Take this. It is the keystone to enter the old walls. The entrance is directly below us, and good luck. Well, okay. We're going to go in here, but I think we are going to call it before we get too much further. If we are, we'll see how things look, but if it looks like we've got a whole heck of a bunch of stuff to do, then we'll save that for the next time. This will be a good stopping point, potentially. Right, no, we've already gotten in here, so... Forget how this goes on this route. Well, we will hopefully find out together. Okay, well, the mood in here is certainly different, and the bodies from before are gone. Oh, I take it back, but now we have a cutscene. The bodies are there. I had a feeling my life would end in the old walls. Not saying I wanted to be proved right, at least not today. The traps didn't hold. We must eliminate those Bane.
Another demonstration of our power seems in order.
Oh my, okay, we're doing it. We're doing the thing. Shit. Okay. Let's do some buffs. Lantry, do your thing. The beasts are frightened of me, which is wonderful. Okay, let's put some blur on her. Ebb. Let's see how this mage strike or grave strike works on these guys. Siren? You don't have much going on. Maybe move here.
I'll take it.
And then, like, heal thyself. That would be great.
If you think it will help.
Okay, we got one down, I think. Let's see how magic does. Well, it stunned it. Now let's punch it. I mean, this looks like a weird red ghost. I can't really even make out what I'm looking at. Oh. That worked really well.
That's fine. Just fine. I don't need that rip.
It would seem the Forge-bound master isn't as masterful as she thinks. Okay, so the Bane in this very first encounter were not quite as scary as I was led to believe, which I'm fine with. We still can't get through this door, though. Alright, let's go glare at the Forge Master. I guess an interesting thing about this game compared to a lot of other fantasy RPGs is that I've been playing for a lot of hours now, and this is the first time we've encountered magical enemies, I believe. I mean, there's been mages and stuff, but like... Oh. They're dead. They're dead. I feel as if something horrible has happened. Oh, cutscene. Alright. Let's protect the old walls with something easily stolen that every 2-bit thug would happily take. What could go wrong? Well, we know now why the Bane were able to escape. What happened here? Fatebinder, our battle has begun. The Bloodhound runs up, her words punctuated by labored breathing. The Bronze Brotherhood are attacking Lethian's Crossing. Come join the fight. Maybe you'll be able to kill the raid leader, Ring Dropper Karatha. What will you give me if I do? We can betray everybody, apparently. Alright. What will you give me if I do? She looks shocked and stammers her reply. Well, why would you require payment? Surely the battle itself is payment enough. Well, that's fair. Alright, let's take care of these motherless curs. Tear Smasher is holding them back. Hurry before you miss out on all the fun. They're in the center of town by the river. Alright, well... Whoops. There are enemies all over here. And this map is probably indecipherable to those watching.
You have no hope.
Pay attention, kids. You might learn something.
Alright, let's punch some folks. Wow. That was some excellent magic effects.
Well, that did nothing except tick them off.
I mean, she's almost dead. Cool, okay. Let's save. Let's bring my mini-map back. Wow, there are bodies everywhere. Oh, no, no, no. Come back. Come back, everybody. Alright, we got some enemies over here. Let's everybody group up here. Oh, I was gonna sneak, but, that time has passed, it looks like. Alright, let's mark this guy, because he is a big boy. And then let's light him on fire.
Uh-huh.
You cannot
It's horrifying. Just horrifying.
That attack didn't work.
Alright. It's okay. Let's just keep doing our thing.
Pay attention, kids. You might learn something.
Okay. Oh, okay. We took out the one already. Alright. Stunned. Marked. Just chillin'.
It'll take more than that.
Just kind of waiting for this to play out because there doesn't seem to be too much we need to do just yet. Okay, we need to head east now. Well, let's save. Yeah, so keep saving. Looks like we got some folks over here.
Fine.
There's a big boy over here, but... Oh, he's on our side, actually. I'm just letting the AI kind of handle things for the moment because they're doing okay.
Take them off.
Okay, we killed the soldiers. But we have the lieutenant here. Okay, that was wonderful. Let's light her on fire. Lantry, I don't know, throw a pen or something.
Consider it done.
Cool, okay. We did it. What now? Oh, there's somebody up here still. Alright, let's save one more time. And head up here. Singing is so creepy. I love it though.
Pay attention, kids. You might learn something.
Oh, I just got stunned.
The attack didn't work.
Ah, wonderful. Okay. So when we killed that enemy, we all got health, which is fantastic.
On it.
Man, my main character is still stunned. She's just hanging out there. Oh, she's back. Alright, great. Okay, I don't see any more enemies on the minimap. Let Tear Smasher and Lethian's Crossing know that the Bronze Brotherhood have been dealt with. Well, where do I go to do that?
Hi.
Oh, down there. Tear Smasher, we took care of it. Man, did all of the, like, merchants get killed? I was certainly not expecting this to happen. I must say, I'm impressed with your battle prowess. Look how quickly you finished off those Brotherhood raiders. I could say I am impressive if I do say so myself. Did you notice the Magebane helm is gone? Ugh. My gang is perfectly capable of protecting Lethian's Crossing on their own. Then his face sobers. However, the voices of Nerat will probably have my head if they find out the helm is missing. I will speak to Eldian about it. Just gonna speak about it, huh? Ray Toman. Oh, okay, this is the Brotherhood douchebag from earlier. Okay. Ray Toman makes a mocking bow to you. Thank you, Fatebinder. You provided a better distraction than I could have hoped. It was all I needed to retrieve what I came for. Oh, he's wearing the helm. Now I have work to do. Well, I could throw a rock at Ray Toman. I mean, I feel like, why not, right? Because he's kind of a dick. Before Ray Toman can move, you scoop a rock from the ground and throw it at him. He tries to duck but isn't fast enough and the stone hits him right in the temple. He rocks back momentarily, a large gash appearing on his head. Ray Toman opens his mouth to speak, thinks better of it, and runs away to the south. Okay, so he has a magic helmet. That doesn't bode well, I would say. And our next quest objective is to pursue Ray Toman. But we need to level up. Well, let's see here. I think I might want a little bit of extra health. I don't always take damage, but when I do, I feel like it is a lot. So maybe that would be a nice little boost. Sure, why not? Okay. Now for the fun stuff. More leadership abilities, perhaps? Yeah, this has been a great ability right here. Okay. The leadership tree has been just amazing. So we can continue making our thrust ability overpowered. That is very tempting, honestly. I need to remember what else we have as far as options go. Right, more spell slots. Grants a bonus to magic skills for a short time after using thrust, but that's only for me, not the whole party. I think I'm just gonna add a defensive bonus. I love these passives just too much. It's like making the game easy but in the best, most satisfying way, honestly. Okay. All right, let's just keep going.
Got it.
Oh, wait. Let's do some looting. Got some more stuff over here. Great. Okay. Oh, I can't lead this way. I have to cross. Okay. Run, run, run. Alright. You cannot venture forth while in combat. You make an OP ability, which is way more satisfying. Right, I'm like choosing to spec into it. Okay, did I make a mistake? Am I supposed to go this way? Ugh. Alright, we'll run all the way around. Yeah, and I just saw your comment about breaking the game, but yeah, it reminds me of Morrowind, you know, and some of those other older RPGs where the game is happy to let you just make the most completely imbalanced character. You just have to put the time and the knowledge into doing so. Okay, I'm glad the game is letting me save here first. Let's run down here. Okay, cutscene time. I'm hoping that maybe our girl Welby will get, like, to stab him in the back or something. Okay, look who's here, but just a bit too late, aren't you? Raytoman laughs. He holds a rope, the end of which is binding Zedenia's hands. Zedenia stares at Raytoman with an intense hatred. Now that I have the Mage Bane and the Forge-bound Master, nothing can stop me from unleashing the Bane on Lethian's Crossing. Why would you do that? Zedenia growls and takes a step toward Raytoman, who jumps back and puts up his hands in front of him. You notice one of his eyes is black and his nose is bleeding, in addition to the welt you caused on his temple with the rock. The dude is paying for his actions. You motherless cur! Zedenia spits at him. Her clothes are spattered in blood, and she works her hands, fighting against the bonds holding her. As soon as I free myself, and make no mistake, I will free myself, your blood will join your underlings on my armor. It will take more than a hammer to my head to take me down. Coward, using your men as a distraction. You know you are no match for me. Zidania is awesome. Reitaman takes another step away from Zidania before continuing. With the Bane free, I will drive out the invaders that think this is their home and prove that the Bronze Brotherhood are the only ones strong enough to protect Lethian's Crossing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a town to endanger so I can save it. Just classic monologuing.
Heads up, we have company.
Okay. Do. Well, let's just use thrust on somebody, why don't we? Get that defensive bonus. Oh!
This isn't working.
Trying to understand who she's already attacking.
I got it.
Yeah, we're good. Wow. They're missing, though, so that's unfortunate. Let's put a boost on us. Lantry, let's do a boost from you as well. I don't know. On yourself? It's time for Grave Strike. Yep. Yes, please. And Siren, just keep doing whatever it is you do. I mean that sincerely. And let's do a punch there.
I got it.
Oh, alright. Lantry, you need some healing, please. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. There we go. No, what are you doing? Great, okay. And let's put a blur on her as well. Ebb, why don't you just drown a motherfucker? That would be great.
Attack didn't work.
Well, my character is, tanking, apparently. Oh no! Okay, Lantry, revive please, that would be wonderful.
As you command.
Blink twice, you're still alive.
Blink twice if you're still alive.
You're not done yet, not if I have any say in the matter.
Okay, I guess I didn't need that revive, but okay. So ask Tear Smasher where Reitaman may be found? Is that what that was? Oh, Reitaman managed to escape with Zidania. Tear Smasher might have insight as to where. It's fair. He's likely speaking with Eldian. Right where we left him.
Aye.
Was that? Oh no, that was here. Okay. I know where we're going. All right. Crowded room here. We're gonna take the Elder's stuff. I think we missed doing that. Oh, nope, never mind. Alright, Fatebinder, come in. I was just told the news that the Magebane helm has disappeared. This is terrible. What happened just now? I heard fighting out there. Are there more of them? Well, Reitaman stole the Magebane helm and captured Zidania. Motherless fucks. I will see them bleed. Tear Smasher turns and stomps toward the door. I need to find something to stab. Oh no. Oh, okay, phew. Alright. Motherless fox. I was just beginning to believe we were finally safe, but a celebration planned before its time will no doubt become a wake. Eldian shakes his head, and without Zedenya, there's no chance of getting another helm. My friends, please, go back to your homes for now. The Fatebinder is taking care of the invaders. I feel like as these streams go on, my voice gets more hoarse and my words get more slurred. So it's entirely possible I said fox instead of fox. All right. This can't be happening. It just can't. Harshian mutters the words quietly as he moves towards the door. Fatebinder, come speak to me before you leave Lethian's Crossing. I have some, let's say, special supplies you will be interested in seeing. Okay. You're almost like the Batman now. Yeah, this is my 3 hours of reading voice. I should have brewed like another cup of tea. Good lord. I hate to add a request upon a request, Fatebinder, but I would ask one more thing of you. The recent attack was horrific, and there are a lot of folks that are in a bit of trouble now. Lahara lost some of her men in the attack. She was stretched thin before it all, so I'm sure she's going to need all the help she can get. Some townsmen have also gone missing. I've no doubt your assistance could be useful to all of them, so if it wouldn't be too much trouble, please ask the townsfolk if they need your help. He makes a formal bow. I know we have no right to ask this of you, but I know you can help where no one else can. Yeah, this is endurance training. I'm enjoying it though. I wasn't sure when I started this game how I would like doing all this reading, but I like it. I'm not somebody who was ever like a drama kid or like a performer, but I kind of like doing the reading and applying just a little bit of different tones and stuff to it without doing voices. I've seen some streamers read text in games like RPGs, and they'll do like voices for each character. I'm stunned. I have no idea how they do that. Like, how do you even remember? I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I like reading this. This is fun. At the risk of sounding like Lord I told you so, Archon of the Obvious, what in Kairos' name was the long-term plan? They just leave the Magebane sitting out in the open? Unless they were willing to commit armed guards day and night, it's just asking for someone to steal it. Yeah, I've played a little bit of D&D, and I didn't enjoy it, but the hardest part, in addition to just the game itself, was I was so anxious about getting into the role playing, and it's probably just a social anxiety thing or something, but I don't know, I couldn't. I mean, nobody was really doing voices, but there were some people who were like, acting and being way more into it, and because I was so unfamiliar with it, I was just kind of like scared. But yeah, so far anyway, reading this like a book is more my jam, apparently, it seems. Yes, I was going to ask the same thing. Wards are easily overcome, and after that, the helmet is just there for the taking. Shame, it might have even worked. For a moment, I thought I was being overly cynical. Glad to see my cynicism is entirely average for this group. The safety of this settlement is all that matters to me. I hope we're of similar minds on this, Fatebinder. Since you're clearly capable of handling threats, otherworldly or not, I'll see to it that the old walls remain open to you. The passageway leading to the base of the spire will be unsealed upon your return. If accessing it can help you in any way, please use it. I love Lantry. I'm starting to love Ebb. I thought I was going to love Siren, but man, her backstory is fucking dark. You missed when we, had our whole interview with her going through her dialogue options, and it was just like, I miscarriaged my brother-to-be, my mom died for me, my dad abandoned me. It was just the darkest, most despairing shit to start this stream off with, so watch the VOD if you want to check that out. I know we're asking a lot, Fatebinder. If there's anything I can do to help you, just ask. Well, I guess I'll ask you some questions about the recent attack. Horrible. It's all just horrible. He shakes his head. What's on your mind, Fatebinder? The rise of an Archon makes you wonder if it's like that for all of them. Yeah, they hinted at that just a little bit. But at the same time, she seemed to be born with her magic, with her ability to influence minds. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I still really enjoy the vagueness around the Archons and where magic comes from. Any idea where Ray Tommen might have taken Zidania? The Brotherhood doesn't like to stay in one place for too long, so I can't easily point you to one location, I'm afraid. Haven's full of thick forested caravan routes and river crossings. They like to make themselves at home at places like that for days at a time. And then, just when word reaches travelers of their whereabouts, they pick up and move on. Crafty fellows. I doubt Ray Tommen would continue that routine with Zidania and Magebane in tow, though. Rumor has it that he sometimes moves through the old walls, which, on account of it being absolutely daft, probably means that it's true. He shrugs. This is all a long-winded way for me to say that I'm in the dark here. Sorry, Fatebinder. Well, how are the settlers faring? Not well, I'm afraid. There's been some tension here and there with the Brotherhood, but by and large they've never attacked people in the settlement. They actually had their fair share of admirers here, believe it or not. We've at least a dozen dead, more wounded. Most folks stayed inside and got out of harm's way, but everyone's rattled. He gingerly rubs a bandage wrapped around his hand, wincing as he does. They attacked didn't make a lick of sense. Who's to say that Ray Tommen might return for more, may not return for more? How dangerous are things now? Truth be told, Fatebinder, I'm much more concerned about that helmet than Brotherhood on a rampage. It's true we survived here for a long time without magical protection, but that situation can change as soon as you blink. He points to a dark, scarred patch of skin on his neck. I got this many years ago. Thankfully, Bane attacks were few and far between then. He pulls back his sleeve to reveal some tightly wound bandages on his forearm and bicep. These I got in separate attacks in the last 2 months. Something is driving the Bane out of these old walls. Why do you think Zidania was ordered to come here and deliver that fancy helmet? I hadn't thought of that, but that's an interesting question. Why do you think the Brotherhood attacked? I mean, we know why they attacked. He snorts, frustration evident in his voice. I think it's safer to say that Ray Tommen attacked, though perhaps they're one and the same. I've been around long enough to know how to spot the weed that'll strangle your crops. That man has always carried a bit of poison inside him, even before Kairos kicked the Brotherhood out. Ray Tommen once burned a village to the ground to kill a rival that was hiding there with the help of some sympathetic folks. He said that the villagers raised arms against them, but that's a load of pig shit. He did it because he was obsessed with getting vengeance and never lets go of his obsessions. This rival wronged him before, so he left no stone unturned until she was dust in the ground. Consequences be damned. I think we heard this story from Welby, I think her name was. Whatever fool notion compelled him to order his men to come to Lethian's Crossing and steal Magebane, I guarantee you, has everything to do with that obsessiveness. He hasn't changed all these years. There's something big he wants, rest assured, and right now we're all in his way. Why do you think Ray Tommen took Zidania captive? Interesting question. Eldian scratches his beard, squinting his eyes in thought. Truth be told, the Forge-bound and the Bronze Brotherhood never really got along. The Ironworkers think of themselves as artisans, and see Brotherhood soldiers as dim-witted thugs that aren't worthy of their fancy swords. The Brotherhood, for their part, see the Forge-bound as docile servants of the Overlord, happy to trade their dignity for regular meals and a steam-filled prison they call the Forge. I don't know if Ray Tommen aimed to take Zidania. Quite frankly, she's just as likely to cave his head in with her hammer on any given day. He chuckles at the thought. Whether he planned it or not, giving the Forge-bound their comeuppance is probably something he's wanted for years. It seems that not all of the Brotherhood agree with Ray Tommen. I've heard rumblings about that. Word is that their leader is a paranoid sort. He sees conspiracy and betrayal at every turn. I've seen a few of his lieutenants come and go. Pretty sure they're not all falling in battle. Tell me, if that's the sort of man you're following, how long do you think it'll be before someone else tries to stoke a claim? I've known some Brotherhood men and women in my time. I never call them wholesome, but not all of them are arsewipes. This move by Ray Tommen is going to rub some of his folks the wrong way. Okay, that is it. That is that, and I think that is that for all of us tonight. Let's go out here. I'm gonna walk over to Harshy and Braun so that I don't forget to talk to them before we leave. But it also looks like we've got a bunch of side quests and stuff to do in here too. So, but I think that is enough for one evening on a weeknight. Dentalos, have a great night. Have a great week. I will probably stream again this weekend. Stream this game specifically, I mean. What do we got here? Havoc, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I'll just leave myself here. Let's do a save. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Again, happy Inauguration Day. And you all have a wonderful week. I will try to do the same. And I will see you when I see you. Have a good one.